Hey, party people. It is Thirsty Thursday, so welcome back. Of course, it's your girl, Krista B here. And I decided that we didn't want to keep you guys waiting for us because we did say we was going to start at 7. So 7 o'clock, here we are. Don't worry, Queen PR is on her way. She's going to finally make her grand entrance because I'm always making the grand entrance. So we're definitely going to have her make her grand entrance. So please, 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 please just, share this live stream out. Get all your friends, tag us in here, say what up to us on Twitch. We're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're everywhere to be found right now. Not Facebook, not Instagram, I'm sorry. We're on YouTube, we're everywhere to be found right now. Once again, it's your girl Krista B here. And we're just gonna have a good time today. It's a good time. It's our Thirsty Thursday of the month. It was supposed to be last month, but things happened, so we had to switch it. But this is a better day because I'm here. P's on her way. Hey, Rakasha. Hey, birthday twin. How you feeling? How's life as a graduate? Please, please, please let me know. And yeah, we're gonna keep it moving. We're gonna definitely keep it moving today. So make sure you tagging everybody. Make sure everybody is definitely here in the building because we definitely have some surprise guests as always. Because what is a Thirsty Thursday without any surprise guests, right? So, and we're gonna talk a lot of things. We're gonna talk wrestling. We're gonna talk about Trinity is having her first match in Impact tonight. So we will be watching as a family. Don't think that we won't be watching as a family. And yeah, so we're gonna wait for some more people to come in. Also, I want to know what you guys are drinking on. What are you drinking on? I know P is the DD for the night. She's the designated driver, so to speak. She will be drinking water and hydrating. I, of course, have a glass of wine, but I also have 2 bottles of water. Hey, Kyle. Black Thought, please, 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 please do not come and start be on your bully early because P ain't even here yet. P, where you at, sis? Because I can't do this banter by myself. I can't do this banter with me and Black Thought because we're usually on the same side. So P, where you at? We need you to pull up, sis. I'm doing good. It is Thursday, Friday Junior. So happy Friday Junior to all you guys. And let me know what y'all drinking on, whether it's water, soda, juice, a smoothie, a vegetable juice, whatever. Let me know what you guys are drinking on, whether it's the hard stuff or the light stuff. I want to know it all. Please flood the comments. Let me know what you guys are sipping on. And hopefully we can get it moving. How many of you guys are excited about Trinity fighting an Impact tonight? BCAA. Black Thought, please, 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 please. Not right now. Not right now. Not right now. But yeah, I want to know how many of you guys are excited about Trinity fighting tonight. I can't wait to see what she has in store for us because it's been a little minute. Like we can't sit here and lie and say that we did not miss Trinity at all. Because we did. We missed her in-ring action. We know what she can do. And yesterday was literally a year since her and Mercedes walked out of WWE and never looked back. And that's beautiful. And I love that for them. I understood. I was in that moment yesterday where I understood why a walkout is necessary because yes. So we'll get into all of that in a few. But y'all not telling me what y'all drinking on. What are you guys drinking on? Put it in the comments. Let me know. Let me know what you guys drinking on, especially before the guests get here. And let's also send our love out to Christina. She probably will be joining us today. She probably will not be joining us tonight. She's just going through some things. So just please let's all send our love, thoughts, and prayers up to her and her family. Just know that we're thinking about her, and she is always a part of this team, and we love her always. P, let's go, sis. Let's go. I don't do Thirsty Thursdays by myself. Ricard drinking juice. Okay, that's dope. Drinking juice. Thank you, Ricard. You literally, we got to have you on here one day because you have been supporting us since day one. Like since those wrestling girls just put their first episode out. You have been supporting us. So we definitely have to have you as a guest on our show one of these days. It's really a long overdue invitation for you to come up here. Oh my gosh. Black Thought is like I'm not getting into this. I am not getting into whatever you and P got going on because it's not my fight. I pick and choose my battles, and this one ain't mine to this one is not mine to choose or to be a part of. It's not mine. Patricia. Now, when she reads these comments, I'm gonna just let y'all have at it, and I'm gonna sit back and sip my water because I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this with you. I'm not doing this with you, and you better stay for what she's gonna give you too, because I can't. I can't. I'm not doing this, and yeah, no. So this is a little bit weird for me because usually we are on together. We're checking in with each other. We going? We taking trips? Where you going? And it better be someplace tropical because out here, this weather out here is ghetto. So it better be someplace tropical, someplace nice, someplace warmer than what it is right now. Because it's ghetto. Okay? All right. But yeah, so this is a little bit weird for me. So I'm waiting for P to come on. Waiting for our guests to come on. So let me know what your Thursdays was like. I mean, it's Friday Junior. It's Thursday. What were your Thursdays like? Like, how was your day at work? What was your day like? Let me know because I don't think I can talk by myself for this long, unless y'all want to hear me rant and rave. And I'm not in that headspace today. I'm not in that headspace today at all. So just let me know what y'all got going on. For everybody else, House of Glory Wrestling tomorrow. Yes. What? I feel like I may need to pull up to this. This is gonna be lit. Up, finally. Here she is. Here she comes. This is a lit situation. And I see Jacob Fatu up there. I might have to pull up and make an appearance to this because this is a lit situation. I'm excited about this. You got to give more details. Like, I need to get more details. Hit me in a DM, slide in a DM or something. Just because that sounds really lit. Give me date and times and everything else. I'm not sure who the Facebook user is.
Hey, girl.
This is weird. Like, can we do this at the same time next time? Because I know I speak a lot, but no. Nope.
Well, did you tell them about our episodes that's out and shit?
I didn't tell them anything because I just felt weird talking by myself. Like, I was going back and forth in the comments because Black Thoughts came for you early and you wasn't here.
I see talking about I'm at the Grand Concourse. Like, you don't know anything about the Grand Concourse. Like, you live in West Bubblefuck. Like,
wow.
You don't live.
You know what? I'm gonna let y'all have that because he
lives deep in Brooklyn and he always talking shit. Like, hey y'all, sorry I'm late. I had to get settled. You know, it's been a day. It's been a day.
It's been a week.
It's been a week.
It's been
a week. But I'm excited to be back with you. It feels like an episode of Those Wrestling Girls. Like it's just us chopping it up.
Us chopping it up. I did send out prayers for Christina.
Yes. Prayers to everyone right now that's, when life be life, and I think we could all use a little uplift.
Quarter Water said not too much on Brooklyn, Trish.
Hi, Corey with a K. All right. If Corey with a K says this, then I'm not saying nothing else about Brooklyn tonight. I'm gonna just need Black Thoughts to chill. Okay.
I just want to know who this Facebook user is. I can't see.
Who is the Facebook user?
Yes, like I don't mind popping out to a House of Glory show.
I've been okay. So I'm glad that you said House of Glory and Corey with a K is here because we have been meaning to hit up a House of Glory show probably.
Oh, Corey was a Facebook user. Okay,
Hi,
got
Corey.
it.
I'm glad you switched over. Hey, Vincent. Hey, everyone that's joining us. We love Thirsty Thursday. No one upset me. Black Thoughts be playing himself, but he know better. He's family. He's family. Speaking of family, I don't know if my dad is watching, but hi, Daddy. Hey. And everybody that's watching is family. We have some special guests tonight. Some of the crew might be coming through, but it's our monthly party. We get together, stream it everywhere. Hey, Justin. And we just chop it up. We talk wrestling, we talk life, and we drink, and we just have a good time. Shout out to Christina. We don't have the gong tonight, but basically anything that you want to celebrate in life and in wrestling, you put it in the comments and we take a sip to it. You could drink literally, we usually have the Undertaker gong, but you could drink anything you want. I'm drinking water personally. You could drink alcohol, coffee, energy drinks, whatever the fuck you want to drink. This is what Thirsty Thursday is for. Getting together and celebrating life. Shout out to Wrestling Realm. We love them over there. They are absolutely family.
Hold on, my neighbors are talking now. As soon as they let these little chihuahua things out, they just want to keep going. Like I promise you, you act like they don't go outside every day. It's always.
I feel like you live in New York. You have to accept random noises at all times of the day. You just kind of got to get used to that.
I remember the first time I actually heard them like come out and bark like that. The owner like. I can't see it, but you can hear it. So it's like he yoked them up. Was like, "What are you doing? Why are you making all this noise? You ain't never been no effing where before." And I'm like, "They're dogs." Like,
right? Like, what did you think?
I mean, I get it. Trust me, because I'd be like, "Shh, stop barking! You're making too much noise." But you're outside. They're dogs. Like, yeah. What did you expect?
Let them live their best life. Like, I want to know what everybody else is drinking in the comments. See, you see. Now I came on this stream. I didn't choose violence. I was like, I'm gonna keep it cute. And then he says things like this. And honestly, like if you hear of home invasions, does that happen more in the Bronx or does it happen more in Brooklyn?
That's a Bronx thing.
That's definitely not a Bronx. That's a New York City thing. Don't try to put that on the Bronx.
I've heard of it in Bronx and Queens. I rarely heard of any home invasions in Brooklyn.
I
said rarely. I didn't say it didn't happen. It's real rare that a home invasion happens in Brooklyn. And I can promise you that.
I be trying to be nice. Hi, Matt. Thank you for coming through. Let us know if something good happens on ROH. I'm easing into Impact.
Yeah, I was telling them like we're gonna watch Trinity's first match as a family.
So I had an idea. Like I want to do like a trend pack watch. Like I want us to just like keep updates of what Trinity is up to in Trend Pack, and then we could get that like trending like every Thursday.
Listen, Justin got your back. We see what he wrote.
See, he know because he's from the Bronx. He know what's up. Black Thoughts just. I always talk about how it's gentrified. It is what it is.
I mean, I guess, but whatever. We got a special guest right now.
We do.
That we're gonna bring up to the stage.
We do. But Trend Pack, we're gonna get that trending.
Absolutely.
We're gonna get that trending. We're gonna look out for our girl Trinity. Everybody gonna keep us updated on what's going on with her. She has her first match tonight, I believe.
Yeah, it's tonight.
So
That's why I'm
we
saying we was watching
are
as a family.
rooting for her, and we're definitely watching as a family. But yes, it's not Thirsty Thursday if we don't have a special guest.
Period.
Period. So I'm excited about this guest. I'm excited about all our guests, honestly. Matt,
Not tofu pizza be bussin'. I cannot deal. All right, we're gonna bring our guest on. This guest, you know his face, you know his name. He's literally everywhere. He is a wrestling enthusiast, if you will. Many publications under his belt. We run into him every year at WrestleMania. So it was just right. It was just right to have him come on and chill with us and hang out with us today. So please welcome to the forefront, Mr. Phil Lindsay.
Hi, Phil.
Okay, you did it.
Going on?
Hey.
I was scared at first. I was like, did I do something wrong?
No, not at all. You are officially, which is crazy. This is your first time on our platform.
True.
Yeah. I just finished up Ask Rhapsody on Fightful Select, so I was already in front of my camera anyway. So just hop from one stream to the other.
I love it.
Love
So please introduce yourself for those Wrestling Girls family that may not know who you are and how you've entered our universe. Because I was very excited to have you because we go way back. But yeah, let everyone know who you are.
Yeah, I'm of course Phil Lindsay, as it says there. I write for Bleacher Report. I am currently one half of Rhapsody with Righteous Reg. Formerly 1/3, still my bro. Will Washington is still part of our podcast, even if he is not there every week. But yeah, so I guess that's what people would know me from. Before that, I did a lot of writing on women's wrestling for Bell to Bells. I was at Diva Dirt. I was at Daily DDT. Probably some other places I'm forgetting. Sportskeeda, a bunch of other places.
Basically, what he's saying is Google him and his record shows.
Booked and busy. That's the name of the game. But I am very excited to finally have you on those Wrestling Girls. You were one of the first people I came in contact with when I got on wrestling Twitter per se, and you were like sane and decent, and so we've still been connected all these years later.
It was the same for me. It was the same,
right? I mean, wrestling Twitter, it gets mixy. So you gotta.
Yeah.
But welcome to Thirsty Thursday, especially. I see you're drinking wine, Krista.
Absolutely. You know me. I be having wine droughts. So when I get it, I get it.
I feel you.
But I also have my water.
You always gotta hydrate. Number one rule of Thirsty Thursday.
Phil, are you drinking anything?
My cup is empty. There is no water in there, so I guess I am waterless at the moment.
No worries. Well, when we got to get something to drink at some point because we're going to toast to some things. Everyone in the comments, welcome, Phil. What should we toast to start the show off? Because this is a big one. We're really excited to have you. So we always ask everyone when they come on the show, and I don't know your wrestling origin story. How did you get into wrestling?
Let's see. I got into wrestling through WWE, like most of us. Most of us start watching WWE, and I started watching because of the magazines. I had a friend that used to collect the magazines, and that was kind of like the first thing I ever saw wrestling related.
Is there any wrestler like in particular that kind of caught your interest?
I was a huge Rock fan when I got in. Like that was like the heyday of Rock. Like,
here we go.
Yeah, I used to be. Yeah, I was a huge Rock fan. I used to quote all the catchphrases. I used to like do all the promos. Like, but when I first got into it, the first wrestler that I saw in a magazine, I was like, "What is that?" Was Undertaker, and Undertaker was one of those guys that was like, "Undertaker's dope." Like,
I feel like he's just looking at my wall at this point. He's just looking at my wall.
Yeah, but not
what?
Yeah, my friend, like I said, used to collect magazines, and like he had the cover with like old school Undertaker with like the purple gloves and the urn and everything, and that was what really got me into it.
So
Love that.
basically, you answered our question where you rock a Austin. I don't like you already, Phil. I like you even better now.
Yeah, big rock fan.
See,
I'm sorry.
like I was like, you know, cool with you,
You still cool
and
with him, fam.
then you know, so I'm a Stone Cold fan, and Krista's a rock fan. So we asked everybody like what side they fall on, and you clearly fall on the rock side.
The best
I
side
mean,
to be
People's
on.
champ, bro.
Duh.
fine. Yo, I was just in Applebee's, and they have a People's Margarita on the menu, and with
the
Terramana,
in it.
which I need to like. I can't drink Terramana anymore because I feel like I've drank it so much that it's too like I'm so used to it. But it's really good. Have you had it, Phil?
I had it at Wale Mania, honestly, actually. So,
Oh,
yeah, that was the first time I tried it.
nice. Did you like it?
It was cool. It was cool.
Okay.
I'm not a big tequila guy.
I'm gonna say that's why, because you. So what do you prefer? Like your drink of choice?
I am currently pouring something brown into this cup.
Ooh.
So I am a dark liquor drinker. I do like vodka as well, but I'm mostly a dark liquor drinker.
Like whiskey, cognac, bourbon.
You know, Lil Hen. I'm not a big Crown guy. Sorry, fam. If fam is watching this, I'm not a big Crown
girl. I'm
not
a
big Crown guy.
Girl,
you know what's crazy? I have
am
Crown
offended.
Vanilla. I still have Crown Vanilla ever since Jeree like made us those dirty vanilla cokes.
Chokehold,
like
that fucking meetup.
Chokehold.
I can't get with the flavored Crown. Like it's just too sweet. I'm not a big fan.
See, I love sweet drinks. I love sweet drinks. Like
I like apple flavored liquor. Like whiskey is like I'll probably most likely drink it.
Yeah, like a nice Remy, like fan of the brown.
Okay. Mighty Vin,
That's
Bloody
different.
Maivia. Ooh, I love that. That name.
Different.
Oh my god, I love that so much. That has to be like a featured drink
somewhere
on Thirsty Thursday. Shout out to Mighty Vin because that is amazing.
Did you make that up, Vin?
Yeah, because that's lit. Like a Bloody Mary, because a Bloody Mary is what tequila and
Crown Apple is fire.
A Bloody Mary is what tequila and apple juice, or vodka and apple juice, tomato juice. So take out whatever other liquor it is and put tequila in it. Why not? That is lit. I mean, I won't drink it because, but to each his own. To each his own. Okay.
Its own. What is everyone else sipping on? I'm hydrating. I've been trying to drink and eat clean.
First of all, I see you. I don't know if you guys are following P on Twitter or I don't know why you're not following her on Twitter if you're not. But P woke up one morning and was just like, I'm going to get back into the gym. I
had to like, and it all just kind of I need to get back into shape, period. But it was just like everything came together where it was just like, this is the right time. And it was life. It's only been like a week and a half, and it's just like I can't imagine starting my day without it now.
Yeah. And
are there any gym heads in the building that can like vouch for like that start of the day gym session? Because it's hi Vaughn. It's so much clarity. Going to the gym. So I'm trying to be good tonight. So I'm only hydrating on water.
Sorry about the neighbors.
Yeah, no worries at all. Oh wow. I haven't had Stone Cold's beer. Have you?
No.
I haven't seen it like in New York, like in any like stores or anything.
So Lou had, shout out to Lou. Lou had his friend had bought it for him from somewhere. And I was like, oh, where did you get it? Because I wanted to try it. I'm not a beer drinker like that. IPAs or lagers or whatever. Like if I do drink a beer, it's definitely a Blue Moon. That's my favorite beer. My second favorite is a Modelo. I have Modelo in my refrigerator, and then my third would be Corona with like grenadine and a lime in it, and then that's it. But I don't give me no beer. But I would not mind trying a Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah, I would absolutely try at least to keep the can. But are you straight edge, Phil? I didn't know that. Like, or were you at some point? I guess
he's making a joke about other Chicago Phils. CM Punk. He's straight edge.
From Chicago.
Yeah, somebody else said, the good Phil from Chicago was here.
Did not make that connection.
Yeah.
Brian, I'm not surprised that you had Austin's beer. I feel like you tried every wrestler's some type of drink one way or another. Like,
Oh,
I'm
he
not
said
even
don't
surprised.
necessarily need it again. Interesting. Why? Are you a beer guy? Was it just like not your beer? I'm very curious. So being from Chicago, where does CM Punk, where is he on like your top 10? Like, are you like a huge fan?
I mean, you guys, I'm like a huge Punk fan. Like, I don't
Okay.
know. Like,
Okay.
I don't want to say that I'm a huge Punk defender because it's kind of hard to defend the guy sometimes. But no, I'm a big Punk fan. He's I would say he's in my top 10.
Okay.
Just in terms of like wrestling moments that like stuck with me, like Money in the Bank 2011 is like still one of my favorite matches of all time, like one of my favorite wrestling moments. So yeah.
Okay.
I'm not even gonna say nothing.
What are some other wrestling moments that kind of stick to you, that live in your head rent free? Because we just did a fan club on wrestling themes, and it was just like wrestling themes we couldn't help but connect with moments that like live in our heads rent free, because music is a huge part of it. What are some moments like that you're just like, yeah, I will never forget that. I still get goosebumps thinking about it. I'll rewatch it anytime.
I mean, obviously Kofi Mania, as a big Kofi guy. And just him finally getting his moment at WrestleMania is still huge for me. WrestleMania 30, of course, Brian winning. I don't know, Kenny finally winning the title at wasn't Wrestle Kingdom. It was I'm looking like a bad fan right now. Dontaku, that's where it was.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Naito winning the 2 belts. Wearing the Naito hat, like Naito winning both belts at Wrestle Kingdom. Like, I think in the last year, like Kyrie winning the belt, the IWGP women's belt as well. Man, it's a lot. So I think about it. Bayley versus Sasha, like it's one of the greatest matches of all time.
But which time though? Because which
Good
one?
question.
I would say the Iron Women match. I mean the Iron Women match.
The NXT one.
Yes.
Yes. The one that just literally shut the whole internet down. And everybody was like, what?
It shut the industry down. It was like,
Yep.
Yeah.
because I remember people knowing that I liked wrestling, but like knew I didn't watch it. Like, yo, the girls are really like, you should watch NXT. No, what were they saying next?
Next. I was saying next. I'm not watching next.
And I was like, oh, okay. And I had the network, but I never thought to watch it. And then I watched that match, and I was just like, oh my god, I didn't even know women were capable of this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is wild. Like they can do the same thing that the men can do, and it's just like fucking better to a certain extent, because it's fresh and it's new. You haven't seen women do it. And then I was like hooked ever since.
Definitely hooked. So you mentioned Wrestle Kingdom and other wrestling promotions. How did you get into those? Like, how did you venture out just from out of WWE, maybe WCW, ECW? Like, how did you venture out to those other promotions?
I wasn't a big WCW kid growing up.
Okay, great. Me neither.
Yeah, I wasn't a big WCW kid growing up, but I did eventually like go like, what's that over there? Like, I think it sometimes it's just like crazy enough just seeing other WWE wrestlers mention it. Like, I remember when Punk cut the pipe bomb, and like that was the first time I had ever heard of New Japan when he said New Japan, and I was like, New Japan. And so, like, I mean, I think like just seeing wrestlers from somewhere else venture other places and wrestle there has been a big part of making me want to see other companies do well. And it's just so much wrestling at the moment. We have so much access to good wrestling. It's not like before where you had to like tape trade to get Japanese wrestling, or you know, there was a bunch of indie wrestling that we didn't see. You could just stream indie wrestling from all over the world now, which is crazy. I say all the time, I think this is the best time to be a wrestling fan, because you just have so much good wrestling at your fingertips, man. Like, you could just pull up New Japan matches from like decades ago on New Japan World and just watch it. That wasn't a thing 20 years ago, 30 years ago.
Right.
So what's your favorite New Japan Pro match ever? Like, I would have to get into it, of course. Like, I'll really only watch it when Mercedes makes an entrance, because I'm not staying up for 4 o'clock in the morning for everybody.
You're not staying up for Best of Juniors? You're not doing that?
I don't even know what that is. I'm not even lying.
So it's just like a yearly tournament for all of the junior heavyweights. So it's kind of like if WWE did like a cruiserweight classic every year, and it was like
Got
this
it.
long, grueling tournament. That's what it is. But best ever, it's probably one of the Omega Okada matches because those matches were just amazing. Uh, which one? Like all of them were like so good. Man, I want to say the second one. I think Okada Omega 2 is probably my favorite ever.
Okay.
But it's so tough to say, man, because there's so many really good New Japan matches that I could think of. But
Okay. Because I've heard of New Japan, like, in my late 20s. Like you said before, we didn't have all this access to other wrestling promotions when we were younger. Especially during the Attitude Era. It's just like it was either WWE or the F at the time, WCW, and then later on ECW came across our TV screens for those who watched that. So to come across New Japan, it's just like another network that I feel like I need to subscribe to. So I can go all the way, so I can go all the way back.
2023 problems.
Right. 2023 problems. So I can go all the way back and rewatch everything because I've heard a lot of Omega Okada matches. Like I've heard a lot of good things. I've heard,
There's
things
something
that
so
could be
fascinating
shaped up.
to me about
Yes. And I'm just like,
Omega.
wait, there's
I
really
just could
other
watch him do
wrestlers.
anything.
True. And I was just like, wait, there's other wrestling outside of WWE. Like what? Like no, stop playing. Like that's just how I was. That was my outlook on life. Like now I'm
I
just
gotta
like,
thank like Mercedes for that because it never occurred to me to like stay up to watch like New Japan. But Mercedes debut, shout out to Justin. Like he had us like, yo, here's how you watch it, blah blah blah. And I literally stayed up because I had to see that. And then I realized like, oh wait, like this is a whole world that like it is really cool that I would never even think of. And that's why I always think it's important to follow the talent and not think about the promotion. And I had to learn because I was to a certain extent a WWE loyalist just off the fact that that's what I grew up on, and there's a nostalgia attached to that, and you can't replicate that. Like, I love that there are other promotions. So, but now it took one of my absolute favorites, and I realized now she's like my modern Stone Cold. Like I was like, I love her that much. It took her going there for me to like now, okay, and now Naomi going to Impact. Like we had a whole fan club where I was like, Impact, basically like more from the Mercedes perspective, but Trinity being there makes so much sense.
it makes sense.
And now I'm like, oh wait, I do have access on my cable box.
I found access. I was like, woo. I favorited that channel real quick. Favorite thing.
Yes.
Not gonna go looking for it all the time.
Right.
But P, you brought up a good point, like about you follow your favorites instead of the promotions and stuff itself, which is great. And then watching Mercedes debut, because I didn't stay up. I set an alarm. I was gonna get my sleep. One thing about me, I like sleep. But in watching her debut, it was also like a culture shock because it was like the arena was quiet. Usually, like coming from a WWE perspective, it's just like you're gonna make noise, you're gonna be screaming at the top of your lungs, you're gonna be cheering. And I'm just like, they don't know who this woman is walking down to this ring. And then come to find out that there's rules for the audience. They can't do certain things and they can't make, especially now because of a time of we're in post-COVID era to where you can still catch it, but it's not as severe as it was when it first came out. They're still trying to protect that safetyness of, you can watch the show, but you can't make a sound. Make sure your mask is on. Y'all can only clap. Yeah. And I'm just like, if I was a wrestler and I didn't hear any noise or anything like that, there go fam right there. I would literally about the greatness of us. Why are they trolling you, Phil? Why are they?
He knows I don't. He knows I hate this man. He knows I hate Zeke. But yeah,
why do you hate Isaiah Thomas so bad?
Because I'm a Bulls fan. Like no self-respecting Bulls fan likes the Detroit Pistons or Isaiah Thomas, man. Like,
listen, that was a feud, okay? If we can put back biggest basketball feuds ever, Pistons and
I love
Bulls,
basketball feuds.
and Celtics and Lakers. Biggest basketball feuds ever. If you go back from the late 70s, maybe the early, like mid to late 70s, up into the 80s, watching their documentaries and stuff, you could put them in a wrestling ring. Forget WWE at the time. At the time.
Yo, we would just talk about how like Rob Mid was missing fucking playoff practice to be on
to be in
Nitro.
WCW, like
to go to Vegas, like to just pull up to
Yo.
Vegas for a few days. Like,
what's the coach of the Lakers again? Phil Jackson? That
yeah.
was his name? Okay, yeah. Because he called Hulk and was asking him supposedly where
Nobody called Hulk. Stop it.
Thank you.
Stop
Thank
it.
you. I remember him saying that, and I was just like,
nobody called you.
Phil Jackson was calling you.
Stop it.
Out of all people. But then I'm also like, this is like Hulk Hogan in the 90s, so like should we give him the benefit of the doubt? But I never give Hogan the fucking benefit of the doubt.
Hulk be doing a lot of capping, man. I don't know.
Thank you. 1,000%. 1,000%.
Nobody beating Bad Boy Pistons in a wrestling match.
Maybe.
That part.
Fam, you choosing violence. Fam, you choosing violence, fam. Before
Yo,
I invade
they was really like murking niggas on the court.
Yo, seriously, like how do you come on the basketball court and was like, oh, you ran past me too fast, I'm gonna punch you in the face.
They made Jordan go and be like, yo, he had to change his whole shut up. He was like, oh,
he had to change his shoe. How about that? You wasn't gonna bust a shoe now. That's what you're not gonna do.
He said, "Oh nah, I gotta change my approach. Like this is
what we're not gonna do.
Too much.
Yeah. What we're not gonna do.
The CM Punk of NBA Legends. I don't know enough about basketball. I just watched 30 for 30. I don't know if that's true or not. To be completely honest with you.
Hi to Letty.
Everybody say hi to Letty.
Hey. Oh, I guess you're not.
I mean, it's rude to not expect to drink. You know, when your twin sister comes in and hands you a glass of champagne and your personalized glass, you know, you just gotta take it.
Man,
that's true, and that's the
when in Rome, man. You can't say no.
Shall we toast Phil Lindsay on Thirsty Thursday? Those wrestling girls.
Wait,
everybody take a sip.
Before we toast, we have another person we can bring up to the stream to join this
toast. We do. Hey, girl.
We was having some technical difficulties, and Vaughn thought he was going to get away with talking smack about CM Punk because he thought I wasn't coming.
I was waiting for you to come because
I'm here,
and I was just like,
I'm here. So watch your mouth, Vaughn.
For him, you like he is.
Cheers,
he is, and that's
Cheers.
Cheers.
That's a pretty drink, Sando. What you drinking?
It is a mocktail pumptini in honor of all the Vanderpump Rules stuff that I had to endure. Because let me tell you something about that show.
That's the way I'm about to be watching.
I'm like,
the way we love these wrestling love storylines, they could never. I was like, what is going on? Like, you talking about people been together for 9 years and you having a 40-year-old midlife crisis. So you decide to sleep with somebody who's 20-something. Child.
But then they break up. See, I work at a tablet, so I only know that type of shit.
They didn't break up. He was messing with old girl while he was still with his 9-year relationship.
I heard that he broke up with old girl that he was cheating with.
No, she was on. First of all,
they broke up now. They broke up today.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying. But first of all, have you seen this Ariana girl? Like, listen, on a scale of 1 to 10 with white girls, that's a baddie. Like she could sit in the baddie section.
I mean, we would have reported on her if she wasn't like hot in some ways. So.
How you cheat on that? How you drop the ball on that? And
because niggas fumble just like in football.
You know how this goes. Anybody can get cheated on. Halle Berry has been cheated on. Like, it's just
right.
Beyonce
got cheated on.
Nia Long, come on now.
Yeah,
not Nia
Long.
Was just for the record, Nia Long is one of the nicest person. One of the nicest
I
people
love
that I've
hearing
met.
that.
I love hearing that.
Mind you, I met her right after she came from Dubai when she was.
When she was out with Terrence J.
Oh yeah, it was Terrence J when it was in Dubai. Was it Omarion?
I heard it was Terrence J.
I don't know who it was. Maybe I don't know, but anyway, she's one of the nicest people that I've ever met in life. So shout out to you, Nia Long. Okay, but back to this basketball wrestling stuff because
This is
They
fun.
literally used to like throw. I called my brother one day. I said, "How come you ain't tell me about this feud between the Celtics and the Lakers and so and so?" He goes, "Krista, I was only born like at that time. I was only born like 5 years before that. I wasn't watching basketball." I'm like, "Well, you dropped the ball," and I hung up on him. Hung up on him. Shout out to Family Guy for the episode for the elevator fight. Oh yeah, they made the elevator fight.
Hilarious.
You know what I heard?
Right?
Like 10 years
apparently, that whole elevator fight was about business. Like,
I wouldn't be surprised.
It was about like it's as far as like business. Because remember when Solange tried to drop Saint Laurent? It was gonna be like her. It was like it wasn't gonna be fashion. It was gonna be like her lifestyle brand. But at the same time, I believe Beyonce would, of course, help her sister and front it. But then on the backside, Jay-Z was like, "Nah, I'm not doing that." And then on top of that, that was around the same time that Gwyneth Paltrow, who's their friend, had dropped Goop. So they were trying to convince, I guess he was trying to convince Beyonce not to invest in his sister or something like that. And she heard something about that. And then they confront each other in the elevator. It's like it's a whole bunch of rumors.
So
they were saying it was way past the cheating.
Only reference of it is about there being $1 billion on the elevator.
Yes.
Like, okay.
That's how much Gwyneth Paltrow. That's how much Gwyneth Paltrow's Goop in 1 year was predicted to make. And Goop went on to make, I think, like 5.7 million first year. Because it's a lifestyle brand. Like, she was selling like non-toxic tampons and stuff. So,
and a lot of other weird shit.
And
that's not weird, but I thought she was gonna say something weird because Goop is more known for like selling like vagina scented candles and shit. But we are so excited to have Phil in the building.
Hi, Phil.
Glad to be here.
Bring up some of our crew is here. Hey, Justin.
Oh, we just one big old porte.
Wait, that's how Thirsty Thursdays are.
You bringing me in now after you guys were talking about tampons and shit? Can y'all like back me out?
You walked into the conversation so late.
You to segue into a basketball reference because I know that you're into sports.
Not in the sense of bringing. You know what? I'm signing out.
Can we drink to that?
She said tampon Thursdays.
Tampon Thursdays. Hey, Justin.
No. I usually like alliteration, but we're not going there.
Yeah. Switch the subject.
Thank you.
That was funny though. However, welcome, Justin. You can chime in on these wrestling matches these street fights that they were having on the basketball court. Between the Pistons and the Bulls and the Lakers and the Celtics. Yes, I said that right.
Oh, you definitely got to throw Knicks and Heat in there because they're between the mid and late 90s, they hated each other. They were literally throwing arms, elbows. That was the one where Jeff Van Gundy was grabbing Alonzo Mourning's leg for dear life. PJ Brown was throwing Charlie Ward in the stands and shit.
Somebody also mentioned Ron Artest and
I was going to bring up Ron Artest.
Yeah, I was about to say like Pacers when Reggie Miller was there. Pacers, Pistons. Really, Bulls Knicks too, man. Bulls Knicks was Knicks got crazy.
Which two basketball players from any team you think could headline a WrestleMania? During whenever they had having their feuds.
Does the era matter?
No.
Oh, if we're talking eras, then I'm sending Anthony Mason and Charles Oakley because they were always with the shits.
I heard
they were always with the shit. So they're basically like, think of like Black Bobby Roode, but like 6'7", 6'8", but just ready to fight at all times.
I met Charles Oakley too. He was at my job last year, and child, that man is built to this day. Built. So yeah, definitely. Who you got, Phil?
In terms of star power that could headline WrestleMania, you gotta say Shaq. Like Shaq makes the most sense because like. I mean, he's been in wrestling rings. He's like probably one of the most well-known basketball players ever. Probably Shaq.
But who would he fight against? I'm talking about I don't think I've ever seen Shaq fight on the court. I'm talking about like what out of the ones that we was talking about, like fighting like Isaiah.
Shaq's fought on the court. Him and Barkley have gotten into it, like legitimately.
And now they're the best of friends and at the same table. Look at that.
Kind of best of friends.
Kayfabe and NBA. Kayfabe and NBA.
who would he fight? Basketball player or wrestler? Like
either or. This is all fantasy. Please don't say Big Show because we've seen that. It just didn't work out.
Yeah, they didn't leave Big Show alone. He fights too many celebrities.
Let's not do that.
I mean, you got punch drunk by
Mayweather. Getting punched on your knees. That just like I just didn't like. Like you got knocked out. Like no.
So let's accept him.
Yeah, do the Omos match. There you go. Shaq versus Omos.
Ooh. How do you feel about how Omos has been booked? I'm curious.
I think the match at Backlash was random, but the thing you can say is Omos is delivered in both matches. Like Omos was good in the WrestleMania match. That match was way better than I thought it was going to be. It was random, just like the Backlash match was random, but I think both matches were good at least.
I agree. I enjoyed that they weren't squashes. Like I like that like Brock actually took bumps. You know what I mean? Like it was like, oh, okay, like this might actually like be something. So I've been enjoying it. Like even with the random, and then also like you got Seth. You know he's been in the ring with people that can make things work. So I see him going far.
So I have a question. Do we think that it's time for Omos to get rid of MVP?
Krista, were you in my brain? Because I literally was like,
MVP. We've been doing that lately.
We have, because I was like MVP, like, but I was like, can Omos talk? Like that's what sucks. Like in WWE, you have to be able to.
He's spoken before when he was on. It's weird because I talk about Bravo. He was on Watch What Happens Live as a guest bartender, and he spoke pretty clearly. So I don't think the talking is the problem. I think it's just. I feel like they always associate star power with having a manager or a valet. So, and we talked about yesterday how it works for everybody, but it works not for everybody. And I think just for Omos to have somebody in his corner, it worked.
Yeah. I think Omos can work on his own. I think Omos is very likable when you see him in interviews and he just talks on his own. He's a very personable guy. Has a great personality. I think he would be great on his own as a face. But I think if you're going to separate them, I think you would do the face turn. Like I don't think they work together as like a face act.
Yeah,
but I think he can do it.
Yeah,
they're basically heels. They're heels.
Yeah,
there's something.
Yeah, I mean, when you get confused, like I don't do face heel when it comes to like
Justin. There's something.
There's something.
I mean, they're not definitive faces, but they're not definitive heels. They're kind of there.
And they're not even considered tweeners. Like, what are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
at least we know Omos can rap. Shout out to Wally Mania last year. We know Omos can rap his ass off.
So I got a chance to meet Omos. Me and Brian Schwartz randomly met him. Huh?
Isn't he the nicest?
He's the nicest person ever. Like he really is. And the height difference is why, like, seeing him in person, you're just like, but he's so nice.
It's crazy. And he still owes me a pair of sneakers. Just saying. Just throwing it out there. Not gonna let that down until I get my sneakers.
No. Just but saying. Speaking of Wale Mania, Phil, so I think I met you for the first time in Dallas, Wale Mania.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I was looking through my photos and I was like, oh, I met Phil because there's a selfie that proves it, because I don't remember a lot of that night. But what is one of your favorite things about Wale Mania? Like, is it? I always say it's probably like, as a wrestling fan, it's like probably like one of the parties of the year kind of thing. Like, what has your experience been?
I think the great thing about it is kind of like being in a room that is basically your Twitter timeline and getting to see people.
Yo, so many people say that.
That's so true.
But it is. It's like getting to see people that you talk to regularly, but you don't see them. And so it's like cool to just see people that, like, man, it's just like really good to see you. Like the homie Jeff, like I see Jeff all the time on Twitter. It's good to see him in person. Like a lot of people, like you can connect their profile picture and like experiences you've had with them online and be like, I don't know. It's just weird to like get to see people that you have like a legitimate friendship or like working relationship with in person, and then you add like the wrestling and all the stuff around it. It's just a cool experience.
Yeah, Wale Mania is literally like it's the biggest family reunion where everybody likes everybody, and it's not gonna be any issues.
Does everybody like each other though?
Listen, from what I've experienced, everybody likes everybody. We're gonna keep it as
I
that.
have yet to see beef at Wale Mania, so.
Oh no, I saw it this year.
I personally never seen beef at Wale Mania.
I saw it. I did see it this year. I saw it this year, and
See, I stay drunk.
See, that's where I'm kind of like.
Okay, so let me clarify, because I'm not gonna put the business out there. If he wasn't there, he wasn't there. It wasn't beef. It was just people in their feelings and other people addressing it, and people in the back ready for the follow-up just in case it went to that level.
But see, that was one out like a family reunion,
and that was one of them people in the back.
Sounds about to. P just took the words right out of my mouth. I was like, it was a family reunion cookout. Like it was the second day when you get sick and tired of each other, and you like, you know what? I forgot you stole my laptop, you dirty ass cousin, like that type of thing.
Wow.
Or is it like milder?
It was something like that, but everything got smoothed over. Like hands wasn't laid on each other,
right?
Everything was smooth over. Like, we was really trying to figure it out, like what was happening in the beginning, because if you was upstairs and you saw what I'm talking about, Swollen, I was just like, what's happening?
See,
like
I must
have missed that one. That was this year?
That was this year. We were really confused, but
I must have missed it.
Yeah, if I was there, I'd be the one that'd be like, oh, where's the bar again? Like I'm just
that's me. That's me WrestleMania weekend, period. I am like, I don't know what's
the bar again?
I'm having a good ass time.
Can we just toast to Pete not losing anything this year while they made
I did it. What? And LA was like the best week of my entire life too. And I remember Wale Mania. Like I have photos from it. It was so much fun. The VIP session was lit.
I think I got more drunk than
I saw. I
think I was more drunk than you this year.
But probably. But what I loved most about Wale Mania is, and this is gonna sound so wild, but I like that it kind of like breaks the stereotype of like what the wrestling fan community is, because Wale is like a platinum, he's successful, he's famous, but yet he loves wrestling and he wants to associate his brand with the biggest wrestling event of the year. So you have people like, Kaz being involved and like the Usos showing up, and it's just like a whole separate, section that really just represents like we don't all look the same. Like we're dope, we party, we out here, we have fun. And that's what the party is. Like, there's people that are like my friends. I'm like, yo, just come to Wale Mania. You don't gotta watch any wrestling show.
I promise you,
Wale Mania.
I told all my friends, I said, listen, next year when we in Philly, right? Yeah, I'm gonna come Friday. I said, no, you can't come on a Friday because it defeats the purpose of your experience of WrestleMania weekend. Like, yeah, don't watch wrestling. Come Thursday, we're gonna be lit at Wale Mania. If y'all want to go home or explore whatever, y'all do that. We in Philly, we down the block. Like, y'all do whatever y'all want to do. However, y'all cannot come to a WrestleMania weekend without attending Wale Mania. That just doesn't make sense. It does not make sense at all. And it's crazy that
you don't want to have that regret, because I had that for 35 because I got talked out of Wale Mania because I came with my brother. My brother's not the biggest Wale fan. So he's like, I don't really want to go to this, and especially when I don't fuck with Wale. And that was the year of Kofi Mania. That was the year of Kofi being on Shad Gaspar's shoulders and stuff like that. And I was just looking at my brother. Go ahead.
Wait, what are you saying, Phil?
Your brother was just like, nah, I don't fuck with Wale Mania, so we ain't going. Like, yo.
No,
he was like, we just want to go out? Like, what?
I tried to
I ain't even trying to go into an arena where he's at. Nah, fuck dude. Like, really?
I was trying to explain it to him, and he's just like, I don't really fuck with Wale like that. So now, like, if he hit me with that, if you want to go, then you can go. I'm like, I'm really about to leave your ass here.
Just look.
But what's crazy? I never really heard of Wale Mania until we got to Texas, because I was at 35 and I was just like, oh, okay, like I'm going to my first WrestleMania. Like, I didn't know of any of the parties and anything.
That was familiar of it because I have a friend of mine, somebody I know, Kyrie. He takes photos of Wale, and he like officially became Wale's like tour photographer.
Mhm.
And so the picture of like the Clique, like the picture of like the Clique and Big E being at Wale Mania, those are his photos. So when I saw that and I was like, oh snap, I didn't know like there's a party before WrestleMania. And he was like, yeah, Wale's trying to host it like every single year. So I was like, oh, that sounds lit. But it's like I have not gone to WrestleMania since the last one was in New York. So the first one I was in New York. So I was like, I wouldn't get a chance to go. But I know people that don't go to WrestleMania that don't go to WrestleMania that do end up going to Wale Mania because they're like, all right, well, if I don't go to WrestleMania, let me at least go to party.
It's a vibe. Like I remember seeing photos of like Samoa Joe for 35 in New York of like Samoa Joe, New Day, and I'm like, wait. So there's a hip hop wrestling party that I did not know about in New York.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck? And then from that point on, I was like, yeah, we're going. And then the pandemic happened, and then 2021. So then once it was in Dallas, we was out.
And somebody still owes us money from Dallas. Just saying.
Who?
Don't look at me because y'all went upstairs and I just kept them downstairs.
No. I'm talking about that little section that we bought and we didn't even use it.
The VIP in Dallas was a joke, but they definitely stepped it up for LA though, because I like that whole vibe. Like
I mean, Philly's gonna be a wrap because if it's in Philly, it's at the Fillmore. Because where else is he gonna put it?
Are you going to Philly, Phil?
Yeah, I'll probably go. But yeah, I think Wale Mania in Dallas was the first time I went. That was the first time I've gone to Mania weekend. And I didn't even go to Mania, so I was just in Dallas.
Right.
But sometimes there's so many different things to do.
Yeah.
And you get to meet like everyone that you like know online because that's the one destination everyone's gonna be at. What was your first WrestleMania?
Was my first one that I've seen or first time?
No, that you've been to.
That you've been to.
This year. This is the first time I've gone to Mania.
Oh my God, so many people's first WrestleManias that I know of this year. I love that.
Yeah.
No, I just feel like there aren't enough days. You know how they say there's not enough hours in a day? There aren't enough days in WrestleMania weekend for us to take in everything from Wale Mania.
So overwhelming.
Because Saturday alone, it was just like 50 events Saturday alone. And we literally had to pick and choose where we wanted to go, what we wanted to do. And it's just like, at this point, WrestleMania weekend needs to start from that Monday all the way down to the following Monday. Because it's not enough.
I'm already exhausted, Krista. Like I'm already exhausted.
Yeah, that got me tired. Because
it's that like post-Mania hangover. That's just like always.
I'm letting you know right now. Don't expect no content from us after Mania and then Philly. Okay, we're not gonna.
Oh yeah, I was like, y'all gonna be tired. Like who's coming on to do a Thirsty Thursday? I said, y'all gonna be tired.
But Philly is close, so it's actually easier. There's no like.
No, it is not.
To the time zones.
No, it was really for some reason
hard.
So Texas last year, it was only a 1 hour difference. And when P and I came back, we took a break. We took a hiatus when we came back last year. This year, we was on a 3 hour time difference. We came back running. Like we didn't take a break yet. Like we took a break from recording episodes, but we was streaming. We was still booking and doing stuff, whatever. We didn't do any of that last year in tech.
Sometimes you just gotta push.
But I wasn't really feeling tired that much either. Like I felt the motivation to go. Last year we was just like, you tired, you feeling this, all right, we're gonna come to a consensus to take this break for a little bit, and then we're gonna, but this year was different. So we don't know. Philly just might just take us to a whole nother level.
I'm excited for Philly. I'm excited for that.
So wait, y'all didn't record anything in LA?
Oh no, we did. We didn't record any episodes, but we did do a lot of social stuff.
Yeah,
like we recorded interviews when we was at the press junket, which is out now on our Patreon.
Yeah, like we did press, but when we got back, we didn't like record episodes because
like we did a quick recap
going on. But yeah, like that's always a season where it's like you just gotta kind of prepare. I realized like my WrestleMania hangover is over like maybe a month after because you want to do so much after to catch the momentum, and then that's when you fucking drain. And then that's when I took a break a couple weeks ago because I was just like, yeah, I just need to like unplug. But I do want to talk to Phil about his endeavors and how he even got into just like wrestling media and everything. And because it's one thing to be a wrestling fan, but then it's like, when's that moment where you're like, I want to create wrestling content and for a living, I want to write for websites. How did that journey come to be?
I don't know if anybody remembered this, but way before I wrote anywhere, I had a blog. I just had like a blog where I had like my personal opinions and stuff, and none of it was wrestling related. It was just somewhere for me to like write. And like I was like, man, why am I not like writing anything wrestling related? And so from there I started writing at Diva Dirt. That was what, 2018, 2017, something like that. And that was kind of my first start. That's I guess shout out to Kristen Ashley because she gave me
shout out to
my
her.
break there. And from there, like I got other stuff from Diva Dirt, just from people finding my work there, which is kind of still odd to me. But yeah, just from there, I got the look to do stuff at Daily DDT, and from there, I got other stuff from there. And the podcasting thing, I'm still not sure how podcasting happened. It was just kind of like, hey, come on a podcast and do this with me. And
I do feel like one day I was on Twitter and then Grapsody was a thing, and I was like, oh, okay, here we go.
So at some point, like I was asked to do so many podcasts, like as a guest. Somebody was like, why don't you have your own podcast? And I was like, because I don't want to have one. Like I don't want to have my own podcast. Like it just was never a thing I wanted. But like at some point I did Reg's podcast on his YouTube channel back when it was still like Black Wrestlings, and that was just because that was my friend.
Threw it back.
Like that's just like my friends asked me to do his podcast. So I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And so like me, him, and Andrew would do episodes every now and then, but it wasn't anything formal. And I ended up doing an episode of RBR with Will, and after that episode I did with him, it was my memory's bad at the moment, but I think it was the post show for Double or Nothing. No, it was Revolution because it was the exploding barbed wire death match. It was Revolution.
I'm like, yeah, that's a match.
You say death match and it triggered me.
Yeah, it was that match. So it was Revolution. But we did that one, and afterwards I remember talking to him for like an hour, and we were like, yeah, I talk to Reg all the time. Like we DM all the time, and like I was telling him, I was like, we should record something sometime. He's like, yeah, let's do that. And so he started doing his show on Saturdays, which was Wrestling with the Weekends. And I did the episode with him right after Punk's debut, and it did pretty well. Tony Khan ended up listening to that episode, which we thought was a joke because, you can see people that are in the chat, and one of the people that were on there was like T Khan. And I was like, that's not Tony Khan. It's a joke. Mm-hmm. And so afterwards, Tony ended up following Will after that. And so, the episode did pretty well. And then he had Reg on. He was like, yeah, we should do something together at some point. And I was like, keep saying this. We should do something together. And, eventually we pitched it. We pitched the three of us to Fightful, and that's how Grapsody happened.
That's lit. That's a lit thing to...
Nice.
That's a lit journey to be.
Yeah.
Would you say Grapsody is like your favorite wrestling project you've worked on so far?
Oh, definitely. Just getting to do something with friends. And I think none of us really realized like how big it was going to be. And I hate even saying it, like it makes it seem like I think I'm a big deal, because I don't think I'm a big deal. But I every time I go out somewhere wrestling related, like no lie, I go places and people are like, yo, Grapsody. And I'm like, pardon?
Yeah, you're going to get that. It happens to P and I all the time. Like it's just like those wrestling girls, and I'm like, huh?
Because it's such a niche community, and then like being Black content creators, like you're even more niche, so you're even more quote unquote recognizable. So anytime we're in a WrestleMania city, like it's always fun because then I get that embarrassing thing when it's like, I don't know your name, I only know your social handle, and you probably don't know mine either.
This is why I literally, what was it, Jobber Slam? I had to put out a tweet because I knew like if it's not a WrestleMania or a SummerSlam thing, it's Jobber Slam for Jobber Tears podcast. I was like, if you know me and you only have your Twitter handle and you come up to me, please tell me your Twitter handle, because I don't like when I tell you I don't look at people's profile pictures and I don't realize everybody's names. Please just tell me who you are on Twitter. And so many people were like, same, because it's like you don't like. I get on Twitter and I talk so much that it's like I don't want to look at you and be like, I don't know who you are. I'm sorry.
But
thank you for liking all the shit that I talk.
Right. But speaking of somebody who everybody knows right next to me, because I thought I was the famous one, but no, this person is more famous than any of us in here. So we just gotta welcome up Mr. Hollywood himself.
Oh, yes, please, God.
Please.
Let's not get into Mr. Hollywood over here.
Hollywood Waters.
Actually had time to stop by.
I know, with his busy schedule.
He graced us with his
He probably
with his 4 podcast projects.
Was like, yo, can you book me on Thirsty Thursday tonight? You know, blah,
yeah,
blah.
like,
no, he was kind of like, yo, I could slide through the Thirsty Thursdays.
Because I didn't see nothing in my email about booking you tonight.
I know you went on my planner.
Is this an extra fee or is this like pro bono? Let me know, please.
Is this appearance by the hour?
Right, like by the minute, because
I'm about to say, do we charge by appearance or charge by the hour?
Because I got to check it in the savings and the way that it's set up.
I know.
How's the mathing? Is this Steiner math or is this Brian math?
Yeah, let us know. Let us know how you feeling about it, because let's let your people hit our people and we'll figure out after that. How about that?
Yeah, just make sure your publicist puts out a clean press release when this is done. We'll just make sure of that.
Yeah, just if you want me to write the press release, you want me to put on my journalism hat, I'll do it.
Got you.
I'll do it. Okay, got you. We all up here.
You just gotta remember to put a little Baltimore on it.
Yeah.
Wow. Wait, Justin, did you say what you was drinking?
Huh?
Did you say what you were drinking?
Agua.
Oh, so you're high. Well, I was hydrating, but
she broke her sober.
We have been doing a cleanse. We have been doing a cleanse over here since the beginning of August, since honestly the Final Four. That honestly I've just kept it going. So it's 7 weeks
April?
Yeah.
You said August.
No, yeah, I said beginning of April.
You said August.
You said August,
I said
baby.
April.
Okay. So you definitely said August. Right? I heard August.
You said August. So I'm like, you mean April?
See, y'all's ears aren't working correctly.
I honestly don't remember what I heard. So
y'all did thank you.
Thank you. Black Thought said you said August.
Let's say April.
Black Thought's from Brooklyn.
He's from Brooklyn. He don't have no sense. He don't have no sense. No shit. Okay, I was owed that one because he lived for the Bronx the whole fucking night. Okay, so I had that one.
You said you were good.
All right, they said all right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, look.
I'm in April.
Look, you said August.
Day, like we all know what's up. All right, and that.
The people said what you said.
I'm sorry. I had to take Bronx slander all night, and I didn't say anything. So.
No, you were saying stuff. I
did not. I said he lives far in Brooklyn, which is unfortunate for him.
I was definitely saying stuff.
See, Justin was saying stuff.
Yep. I was saying.
Oh, this is for Justin too. My hands is bisexual. I'm tired of telling you that.
Cheers for Borough Beefs. Cheers to that.
In the Bronx.
I know where Justin lives too. I know he lives somewhere close and far, and I'm only a drive away, baby. I'm only a drive away.
Don't do that to yourself.
Wait,
friend.
Brian, you in Maryland, right? What you drinking?
Oh my God, he's in Baltimore.
Oh, he is choosing violence.
That's what I said.
No.
Yeah,
we brought Phil on as a guest, not a referee. Can we please be civil?
Right.
So sorry. No, you from Chicago. Okay, I have a question for you, Phil. Is because we put a tweet out a long time ago, like, what's the best wrestling city? And Chicago was definitely one that a lot of people were saying. Is Chicago the best
Mecca of pro wrestling? Man, come on, man. The Mecca of pro wrestling is Chicago, Illinois, man. I'm standing on that.
I mean that sounds like something that somebody from Chicago would say.
I mean,
it does, but I got receipts.
Can't argue. Like, Chicago is up there. Like, we got New York, Chicago. I want to say Detroit.
If there was a short list of 5 cities, New York and Chicago are definitely like the first 2 that would be on there.
New York always want to slide in there, but
here we go.
New York is the center of the universe.
It kind of is.
It isn't. But all right.
Wow. Starting to like you, Phil. You're starting to turn into the bad Phil. Let's not do that now. Come on, bro.
Wait, I have a question. Is Baltimore, Maryland in the top 5 of best
Who?
wrestling cities?
No shade, but who?
First off,
shade.
if we talking pro wrestling, like I said before, Baltimore and DC got everything. We didn't just have WWF.
But see
or
how you're tied
NWA.
in with DC though.
You
It's
can't
the-
stand
Yeah.
alone.
Fact that this the only time, but it's the fact. The truth is, the matter is, back in the territory days,
We're not
we
talking about
had
territory.
old Vince and we
Come
had
on,
right now.
dude. Like
we
you're
had
not
Jim
showing your
Crockett.
age.
We're talking
You're
about
not
right
showing
now.
your
We're
age. You're talking about
territory
now.
right now.
No,
Right
the
now.
only problem is that we have a crap arena. That's the problem.
But you can go to like 3 other states to
So
go
wait,
watch it
hold
though.
on,
So I
hold
don't
on.
know
Just
what
putting
you're
it
complaining
nicely.
about.
So to answer P's question, the answer is no. Next.
Wait, what
See,
was
I
my
was
question?
being
I-
nice.
Oh,
about it.
you remember
I
that?
want to go to MSG,
Ooh.
or if y'all want to go to Barkley.
Ooh.
Oh my
At least
god,
we
dude.
got options, and he's still gonna be lit regardless.
Not
We
really.
got options.
Not really.
What? Barclays,
Mm-mm.
MSG, and if you want to make it big, we
Okay.
got UBS Arena, and we got MetLife over in Jersey. So we got options. What do you
UBS
Don't forget
Arena.
about Prudential. Thank you.
Prudential? What do you
I mean,
have?
that was
Don't
Jersey.
worry.
What is UBS Arena?
It's
Right.
in Queens, Long Island. Don't do that.
Don't do that. It's the old Nassau Coliseum. Cut it out.
Period.
Oh, get the fuck. Nah, Long Island's disqualified. Get the fuck out of here. Ain't no one trying to drive out to no Long Island.
Yo.
First of all, it's not. It's really not Long Island. It's really Queens.
It's really Queens,
Long
literally-
yeah.
Island.
It's not
Y'all,
Long
y'all
Island.
not claiming Arthur Ashe? Like, what's up?
Y'all
we
don't
don't-
claim
Nobody
UBS.
started
Is that,
claiming.
Queen, is that
well,
Queens?
Yeah, Arthur Ashe.
Yeah.
That's
That's
where
Queens.
AEW be at. That's where AEW be at. Arthur Ashe.
I mean,
that's where AEW be
We'll
at.
claim
yeah,
that. The other arena,
that's
that's out
yet
there.
another option that makes New York even.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
a
We have
better
options.
wrestling.
I'm not saying
options.
that we have to
We'll
go
claim
there.
it in this context.
Right. We have options. That's why I mentioned UBS Arena, because it's an option.
Right.
Baltimore, Maryland, which I got. Don't worry, I'll wait. Shh, let him talk.
We got
Which I
to see whatever they
Crab
call
case
it.
in football.
CMG Arena.
New
That's
York
enough.
because of Madison Square Garden. Nah, I think y'all standing too high on that Madison Square Garden, but that's all
And
right.
that- and that- and that-
Y'all
and
gotta
that-
claim
and
Madison
that-
Square Garden for something because y'all ain't winning no basketball games there.
Wait.
Oh my god.
The Garden's so great because it's more than fucking
Oh.
basketball.
Right, that's
So
fine.
it's
We
way
will
more
always-
than that.
we will
Like,
always
how
claim
can you
Madison
can't even
Square
talk
Garden.
about the history of WrestleMania without talking about MSG. You can't talk about the history of
Period.
WWF without talking about MSG. You can talk about the history of territories without.
Period. Again, period.
Okay, Flavor
Again.
Krista. What are you, the hype woman? Period.
Listen, again, this question is for Brian only, and I want Brian only to answer. Baltimore, Maryland, what y'all got? Don't worry, I'm listening.
Lamar Jackson. That's enough.
I
Crab
don't know
cakes
who
and
that is.
football.
Next.
Who's Lamar Jackson?
Next.
Don't
I
do
don't
that.
know.
Maryland
Nicholas,
guy.
Wow.
Nicholas, that's
Don't do
solid,
that.
but I would not put Charlotte up there. That is not one of the 5.
That's a push.
Oh,
Charlotte's stretching it.
Charlotte, that's a
They never had a
reach.
WrestleMania.
I would give it to Canada more than I would give it to Charlotte.
Definitely.
Toronto.
Let's be real.
I would give it to
Wait, so
Boston.
are we
Toronto
before I give it to
using
specifically.
Charlotte.
WrestleMania
Boston
as
too.
Boston?
I'd give it to LA before I give it to Charlotte.
Mm-mm.
No,
Mm-mm.
no,
Mm-mm.
no, no.
Mm-mm.
Before
Mild.
Charlotte?
No, so I feel like LA and Charlotte are neck and neck. Like only
Right.
reason why LA this year seemed lit.
Oh, forgot about the Manhattan Center. Shout out to the Manhattan Center. Where Raw was at.
No, that Raw was trash. We don't talk about that.
Yeah, we won't mention that.
We don't talk about Bruno over here. Anyway, you
Mm.
can't really mention LA because the only reason why LA was as big as it was this year is because of WrestleMania, and people from all over came out to celebrate a WrestleMania in LA. But to see a wrestling crowd in Los Angeles, California, their audience is not as hype. Like even if somebody bigger, like let's just say The Rock, makes an appearance, that's the only way that they're really, really hyped to be a wrestling community. After that, it kind of dwindles down. So LA is not on that list at all. I'm sorry. Next.
Okay.
I mean, they do have a good indie scene in LA though. They got PWG out there. They got West Coast Promotions. They got a good indie scene in Cali.
Indie scene cool, but main
And the big promotions
mainstream
love
stuff,
going out
no.
there. Remember, before Barclays had SummerSlam for a couple of years, LA had SummerSlam for a couple of years.
But it's
That's
also
true.
part. It was also part of a big four. Like if you bring a regular SmackDown Raw or live event, the
It's not as
crowd and the
lit.
energy is not the same.
Okay.
It's not the same. And I was at Raw the night after WrestleMania, though.
All right, that's
Talk
fair,
about
that's
that.
fair.
Wait, I have a question. What's an under? Because we're always talking about like all jokes aside, Chicago, obviously, Baltimore, obviously, these are wrestling towns. What's an underrated wrestling town?
DC. I don't know why y'all WB hates coming to DC, but when they come, it's always lit crowds because we don't get pay-per-views. We only get Raws or SmackDowns or AW like Dynamites, but we don't get none of the pay-per-views. We always have to go to Baltimore or Charlotte or come to New York for those stuff. But when we get events, those crowds are always lit because it's usually spaced out.
I would. The only thing, Justin, is about when you say DC, it's so much history there, right? You got.
I was about to say, I don't think
DC's
DC's underrated.
SummerSlams. You also got some, you got some PLEs or pay-per-views. I would say Richmond, Virginia. When I went to a show down there, it was, it was pretty good. And this was right after Jinder Mahal became champion. So that's not. It's either you loved it or you hated it, right? But on a Memorial Day weekend, it was still school night. It was still a lit crowd. So that's a city that I would say is underrated.
Okay.
I would say Orlando, but then you really can't because
where did Jinder win the championship?
Was that
the Chicago?
Was that
Chicago, Illinois? Backlash.
It was Backlash. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I said you love it.
I was just about to say. I was like, it was Backlash.
Lit here in Charleston, South Carolina.
But the town is still boring.
Oh, okay. Has anyone been to a show in South Carolina?
But see, here's the thing. Like you said before on one of the fan clubs, those cities that don't get wrestling all the time will go crazy because people in the vicinity will drive there.
Right.
Just because, like, think about the show in Richmond, right? People from Virginia Beach, which might be, I think, 2 or 3 hours from Richmond, they'll drive up for that. Justin would probably drive down to Richmond. I'm gonna drive to Richmond. Corey gonna drive to Richmond.
That's like an hour for me.
Yeah,
exactly. Because
I'll drive to Richmond if I'm in Maryland.
Yeah, so it's like certain places, Even Nashville was pretty decent for
SummerSlam was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Nashville is just a fun city in general, though.
Is Atlanta underrated for wrestling?
Not back in the
we're like New York wrestling fans, so like I feel like Atlanta is big, but we just don't know how big it is in wrestling because we didn't watch.
I think historically Atlanta is.
And the indie scene is really good there.
Historically, Atlanta is not an underrated.
Yeah, I think Atlanta's properly rated where we give it a lot of love.
Look at that Goldberg winning the title. I mean, I know it was Goldberg, but we can't act like the crowd wasn't like on 100 that whole night in the Georgia Dome.
Ain't he from?
Well, he's from Georgia. Well, that's just like his home roots for the NFL.
That's why.
No, but the rest of the show was good too.
Okay. I give you that. I have to watch a show. I have to go back and watch an Atlanta show then.
Phil, what's the best live wrestling show you've ever been to? Or your favorite? I don't want to say best, but what's been your favorite?
I don't know. The best ever. That's I'm so tempted to say All Out 2021 because that's probably one of the best pay-per-views I've ever seen in person.
Is that the first one?
No, that was like 2 years ago.
Was it the first AEW pay-per-view?
No, the first AEW pay-per-view is Double or Nothing.
Got you.
Mm-hmm. But no, All Out. That was the All Out where Adam Cole debuted and Bryan debuted. That was Punk's debut, pay-per-view debut. Very tempted to say All Out. It's probably All Out. But All In was dope. Like NXT Takeover Chicago. The first one was really dope. That was the one with
those takeovers did.
Was that Bate and Dunn?
Yeah, that was the Bate and Dunn match for the title.
That was a really good one.
Oh, that was good.
Those
I feel like takeovers don't get the credit
anymore.
They don't, man. They don't.
Well, they got to rebuild the roster. Like they got to rebuild the characters.
Let me tell you,
indie darlings that we would get.
Right. Walking into Barclays for that specific takeover, the one with Sasha and Bailey, I think a lot of people's expectations were at mild. But then as the pay-per-view went on, people were like, whoa, like hold the fuck up. Like this isn't your regular TV NXT. This is a WWE pay-per-view. And then you watch these two ladies go back and forth And I'm just like, yo, this is mesmerizing. Like, I was like, I would religiously come back and do this, and not even, and no offense to SummerSlam, like if I miss SummerSlam, oh well. So for me, it's just like,
yeah, I mean, yeah, to that point, that takeover
and that New York crowd again. If it wasn't for that crowd, I feel like it would have been dry. Let's be real. If they brought Takeover to Jersey, it'd have been dry. Because sometimes Jersey's a hit and miss, and I'm from Jersey, so I can say that. But I feel like the last lit New Jersey WWE event was like the WrestleMania after MetLife, the first MetLife, because again, like Patricia said, you had everybody from all over that was just like high on octane, and then like you give them a Raw where Fandango gets to like win again, and then you give them Dolph Ziggler finally getting the heavyweight championship, and like Rocky Boy showing out of nowhere, like everybody was excited. So
yeah, I mean, to that point, like that takeover Chicago, that was the same weekend as Backlash, and I did not go to Backlash that weekend because I had no interest in Jinder versus Randy, so I did not go to the pay-per-view in Chicago, but I did go to Takeover, and that Takeover is fire. Now, the next year, I went to both Takeover and Money in the Bank, but yeah, I had no interest in the Backlash.
I mean, when you say it like, oh yeah, it was Jinder Mahal versus Randy Orton, it's just like a legend versus jobber. Why?
That was like, a good match.
I like Jinder Mahal.
Like, you think that was a good match?
At that time,
I don't know if it was a good match.
I enjoyed the story.
It was like at that time, you don't want to see Randy Orton versus somebody like Jinder Mahal. Like who?
You wouldn't expect it. Like you weren't expecting it. It was just like, okay.
Especially to see. Now this is like after Orton had a feud with the Fiend, and which to me personally felt flat at that WrestleMania.
That was just the Bray feud, right? Like that
was the Bray. I'm sorry, not the Fiend, but Bray. Yeah, and it just was like,
that was the cockroach match with the
the stuff in the ring.
Everybody in the stadium that night was sitting there like, huh? Like,
that match was awful.
Yeah,
I was sitting at home like, huh?
I was creeped out. Like,
why? I think I turned it off.
Why are you putting that in the ring? Like, why are you putting that in the ring? Like, I was really about to turn it off, but I feel like that was that same WrestleMania that the Hardy Boys came back. If I'm not mistaken,
night.
Right?
Yep. Same night. Yep.
Same night.
Saved it. I feel like I'm about to watch that WrestleMania. Well, after Impact go off, because we watch Impact as a family. Y'all watching Impact? Let us know.
See, y'all were talking about takeovers. My favorite live experience was Takeover New Orleans, because that was the year in 2018 where you had Kenny Omega coming over to the States one day. He's white hot, and then it was basically like New Orleans was divided because you had Takeover New Orleans on one side in downtown in the quarter, and then on the other side of New Orleans you had Supercard of Honor, and this is when Kenny's like white hot. This is when the Bucks are white hot. This is when Cody's doing his international tour and trying to prove himself to WWE and stuff like that. So you had like all of New Orleans like, are you going to this show? Or are you going to that show? Are you gonna go to this Supercard that Takeover is about to put on, or do you really want to go see Kenny Omega wrestle? Because this is when like everyone wanted to go see Kenny. Yeah. Me and my brother chose Takeover because I was like, dude, Ricochet's debuting. This North American ladder match looks insane. Adam Cole's gonna wrestle twice in one night. Gargano and Ciampa are gonna fucking have like a unsanctioned match.
Yeah, Andrade, I was about to say, was that the
Aleister
one with
Black's
the
wrestling for the title?
That was a good takeover too.
That shit right there.
Aleister wrestling for the title, and it's like, yo,
I forgot that's when Ricochet debuted.
Yeah,
and I think that was my very first time watching NXT pay-per-view because I wanted to see that unsanctioned match.
Yeah, and that pay-per-view from start to end, I always say like that, between that and Takeover New York is like the best takeover they've ever done. But by that first match, after that ladder match was over, we were just on a high like, wait, there's still 4 matches left, and the people that were at Supercard of Honor were fucking on social media like, wait, y'all got that off rip? I made a huge mistake. We shouldn't have came to this shit.
That Takeover New Orleans is probably.
Yeah, we left, and it was just like we were just on such a high because we were like, bro, this from start to end, this was fucking incredible. I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, Supercard last year was incredible. Like that Briscoes FTR match is still one of the best matches I've seen in person.
Yeah.
Ooh. I'm sorry.
What's on Impact?
Trinity is talking to Giselle Shaw's little understudy or whoever.
I can't wait for that.
And
love me some
Trinity
Giselle Shaw.
just said that well, apparently Giselle Shaw can't fight tonight because injury. But Trinity just said, well, that's good because she has an open contract for Under Siege. So, and tell Giselle that, you know, it's going to be for her. So I can't wait. I'm sorry.
So good.
Trinity was on.
That was after the match, right?
Queen Mother. Well, the match didn't happen yet. That was just like the backstage promo. Because Trey Miguel was just fighting somebody in the ring. And he won, and then somebody else came out. And this guy looks like older Dean Ambrose. I don't know. I don't watch Impact. I'm getting into it, so please bear with me.
Yeah, I didn't
come for us in the comments.
Yeah, I didn't see the backstage segment. I was there for the match, so I saw the Trinity match already. So.
No spoilers, please. Thanks.
So good.
Yeah, in the mecca of pro wrestling. Yeah, making a point. Yeah.
So there was a question earlier that I wanted everybody to answer. It was asked earlier. It's too far up now, but basically the question asked, do we ever get starstruck by favorite wrestlers? Because that person said that he was fanboy. For me, I have never been starstruck by a wrestler, and I thought it was going to happen when I got to meet and interview Roman Reigns in 2015. That same year, SummerSlam came to Brooklyn. But I didn't. I didn't fangirl. I was real professional. I was real, you know, in my mind and on the inside of me, though, different story. But on the outside, I've never fangirl for a wrestler. I feel like the only person I would really fangirl for, and we all know it's The Rock. I just make sure that you have the emergency contacts on file. You have a defibrillator. You have an asthma pump.
I'm certified in CPR, so I think you're good.
Great. I love all of that. But I've never fangirl. Like I've run into wrestlers numerous of times before, and I'm just like, they're normal people like us. You know, like they're normal people. You can have conversations with them. You can, you know, just kick it with them if they're in the mood, test out their mood and their energy. So. No, I've never fangirl. I'm just really blessed to be in their presence and let them know, like, I'm a fan of what they do and continue to do. Keep going. That's me. That's my answer.
What's the best wrestling experience y'all have had, like meeting a wrestler?
I was like
Dallas. I finally got to meet Sasha after like all these years of like, I want to meet her, but then always there was something that happened that kept me from doing it. And Sasha and Mercedes is my favorite wrestler. She's the reason why I stuck around to wrestling. I've talked about this on fan clubs before. So Dallas, I made a conscious effort of like, I'm doing 3 things. I'm doing Wale Mania, meeting all of like, you know, wrestling Twitter, stuff like that. I am fucking meeting Sasha. And then to be the first person to go meet her and actually like have like a 5-minute conversation because they were still setting up with like the WWE officials and Foot Locker employees and stuff like that. So I got to actually chop it up with Sasha for like a quick 5 minutes. Was like, that's the only time I've ever like marked out for like a wrestler. And even then I was trying to keep composure because it was just like, man, if I could really just unload how much you really mean to me, I would, but I can't do it in like 5 minutes. But that's the only time I've ever like marked out for like a wrestler. And that was 1,000% worth it.
Oh, I love that. What Brian wrote. He said he fanboyed over John Cena in 2003, and they got him into WWE, and that him and his siblings were able to bond.
See, I like those stories.
Yeah, that's true. I think my favorite live moment was after like a year or two from like having communication with Bianca. Like she came to my job. And we finally met in person. That's like the first time it was me. I think that was the time it was me, her, Tavia, and Montez. Like we was having a literally in the hallway having like a 2-hour conversation. Literally in the hallway. I'm like, yo, after all this time, we finally get to meet. And it was just like meeting. It's like, you know, you meet your Twitter family. Like you meet the person in real life. You're right over there, P?
Yes.
Okay. And then Trinity, when I interviewed her the night before she won, she became tag team champions with Sasha. I mean, I was talking about my braids and all that. You was there for that, Brian?
When?
No. When You know, the time I called you at 4:30 in the morning.
Oh, now it's 4:30. Like
he admitted
earlier.
I wasn't there for the interview. I remember I had to leave by then.
Yeah, me and Trinity was bonding over my braids. She go, I didn't know he was gonna be here. Who does your braids? I need some knotless braids and and whatever. It was like a real moment. And then my infamous "Hey girl" for Survivor Series. That was it.
Oh, that was amazing. That was so cool. Wait, we saw Phil in the press room. I don't remember which pay-per-view exactly it was. But how does it feel to be like in
Wait a minute.
Were we in the press? Did you do the press conference
afterwards?
Yes. I did. I did night one. Yeah.
Night one. Okay. How did it feel being in a WWE press conference?
Well, for one, it was weird because I've done a bunch of them for AEW, and usually when I've done them, I've like looked to my left and like Reg is there, Will is there. That was the first time like I've done a press conference like since Grapsody has started that I was there by myself, and I was kind of looking around like this kind of feels like weird and unfamiliar. But it was different. I think just WWE, you could tell just like how big of a production it is every time you go to anything WWE related. It's just totally different than any other wrestling experience. But yeah, it was just different. I was laughing afterwards because I was like, "Dang, I had a really good question," and I was sitting there like, "I had this great question, just didn't call on me for it though." But I don't know. It's
wait, what was the question? Now I'm curious.
I forgot what it was now. Like this was like whatever, like 2 months ago now.
Right. I still remember questions I didn't get to ask because I feel like they were really good questions, and I'm like, if I ever have the opportunity again, I'm gonna ask it.
But the moment switches though, like I kind of get that feeling of like not being there with your tag team partner or whatever, because I wasn't able to be at WrestleMania. I mean, I'm lying. I was there at Royal Rumble, and I was telling P, I said, P, you better and ask a question. Right, Siendo, I kept texting the whole time. Siendo was with me. You better ask a question. You better get up and ask a question. Here's your opportunity to ask a question. Like
we literally legends, and she's like, let me go text her and remind her. She was like, I was like, Siendo, I was like, tell her she got to ask the question. She was like, I'm gonna make sure she asks a question. I'm like, yeah. I was like, but I'm like, she'll do it. She's not gonna miss that. I'm like, she's got it. It's like she's got it.
And in my head, and at that
moment, when I saw her braids, I was like, okay, she's in the room. Like we're concerned that she's in the room. At least she's there.
In that moment, it wasn't even for like ask a question on behalf of those wrestling girls. It's like I wanted her to have that moment for herself. Ask that question because that's one of your favorite wrestlers that you love seeing wrestle. Have that moment for yourself. Take those wrestling girls out of it. Take me out of it. Take whoever else is you and her in that moment. Ask a question. And she did it. She was one of the first. You was the first one?
One of the first ones.
I don't remember.
She was the second one.
You were one of the first ones because it was early in the press conference and we were marking out. It was like, oh my God, it's B!
Yeah.
I was happy too. I was driving at that point. I said, yay! I said, Brian, you next. I kept texting Brian too, like, Brian, let's go. You next. Let's go.
I feel like one of the coolest things. I'm sorry, go ahead, Phil.
You said it was the first question though for that one?
No, WrestleMania Night 2 for me was the first.
Oh yeah.
No, but I mean,
have my visuals on screen. They didn't have the camera looking at me at that time. They
just
yeah. But for Royal Rumble, I'm thinking
she was one of the first.
No, she was actually P was the final question because it popped Rhea and sent off a good note.
It was like you're gonna be celebrating.
Oh, right. Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm. And then I turned it on at the right time.
Can I just say, I don't know anyone who has met Rhea Ripley or have been in the same room with her. She has this it's something about her. Like she just has it. I cannot put my finger on what it is. And I'm not saying like I love everything she does on WWE TV all the time, but she definitely has that something where it makes sense of why she's how far she is, and she's also very young. She's like Sasha. Like you achieved all of this shit. You literally in your mid-20s.
Yeah, Rhea Ripley's one of those people. Super young. I think she's like 26.
Yeah, she's 26. When we spoke with her and Dominic, you see the dynamic. They're stars. Like they get
love Dominic so much.
Me too. Like you talk about like best interactions. That's definitely one of my top from this year. Just getting a chance to tell him, like, dude, like, for you to be a son of a legend, you really carved yourself out in this space, and it's fun to watch. And he was like, oh man, I appreciate it. It was just like funny him saying he sent the Office gift, and all of a sudden the writer didn't really understand it. And then that's how the whole Prison Dom thing started, just from him sending the gift.
Wow. I mean, Dominic is doing what he needs to do because I just can't stand him.
That's the point.
Like, you can't, but it works so good. I don't care what anyone says.
No,
like,
let me fight Dominic. I really just want to do. I want to do a shoot so bad. I promise you. I promise you. Like, I want to do a shoot so bad where I'm repping Brooklyn to like the death of me, and I just want to take on Dominic. Like, Mommy about to be handcuffed to the rings, like Randy Orton did Triple H, and I am whipping Dominic's ass. I promise.
What did he do to you?
What did Dum do to you?
We don't know. That's the
Dum was born.
Krista.
He was born.
See, this is why people say things about Brooklyn.
What?
This is you. We all want to choose violence today, and it's Thursday. I can't.
Do not make me get in my car, because I will.
May I remind you, this is Thirsty Thursdays, not Throwdown Thursdays.
Me and one of my really good friends was just talking about this. How we watched Dominic grow up.
Yeah,
and that's what makes
when we know who his daddy was. Like, come on.
Yo, that's what makes it so special. Wait, Phil, you were at WrestleMania. How did it feel hearing Eddie Guerrero's music live?
I was dope.
Like it was like, oh my god, I can't believe this.
No, it was one of the best entrances of the night. I mean, the most vindicating moment for me of the night as a Rollins fan. I've been saying for the longest, this guy's the guy. He's super over, and just listening to how loud that crowd was for him, and like my phone at that moment was blowing up with people messaging me like, "Yeah, might have been right." I was like, I've been trying to tell y'all about.
Yeah, I said it. I said it.
Yo, the way the conductor.
At first I thought it was a glitch. I'm like, wait a minute, are they glitching on TV? And then I'm like, oh no, they resetting. Okay, got it. It's a tail. Like it didn't even start yet, and the crowd just kept going. Like the crowd has breath control because baby,
breath control.
I've
never heard that before.
Nah, I mean,
not the breath control.
Yeah, like, cause what? I had to stop. I'm like, all right, I'm getting tired. My arms is getting tired. I'm just stay right here.
What you saying, Phil?
But yeah, no, that was definitely one of those top moments for him. And like even Clash of Castle, like seeing how loud that crowd was for him. Like, I keep trying to tell y'all, Rollins is this guy, man. y'all not listening to me.
I gotta ask you this question about these rumors floating around.
What rumors?
About WWE not going to put the title on Rollins because of the Hollywood.
Don't believe the hype, bro.
Nah,
he is the next champion.
That
is his champion. Listen. The Here Damn Championship was made for Seth Rollins. He has been yelling for the longest. He wants to be champion. That's his belt, man. Like the second Cody lost, you should have known where this is going. That is Rollins' title.
I 100% agree.
I agree. I definitely agree because it makes no sense. It's good to see AJ Styles back, but it makes no sense to put it on AJ Styles when Rollins is out here busting his ass so hard, and repeat itself. Rollins was the first NXT champion. Why not make him this? I don't know what this championship is called at this point because it's
World Heavyweight Champion.
Why not make him the first World Heavyweight Champion? Yeah, it makes sense.
But what makes Steph so great is like I'm okay with him winning, but I'm also okay with him chasing it. Like I'm just here for more and more Seth Rollins all the time.
Yeah, no, it just makes too much sense. They referenced him not winning the inaugural Universal Championship. They referenced that match. The match is happening in Saudi Arabia, where he lost the Universal title to the Fiend. He's winning, man.
I forgot about that.
I remember that. Well, I watched that from at work, and I was like, "Really?"
Justin owes me a soda. It's on the record. We jinxed. But yeah,
Wait,
definitely
what?
forgot about that. We said the same thing at the same time. So I said, Jinx, you owe me a soda.
I didn't get my favorite wrestling experience. I don't know if it's controversial, but
Go ahead.
CM Punk, like meeting CM Punk for the first time ever was one of my favorite wrestling
Ooh.
experiences. Just because I'm a CM Punk fan, but I met him twice because I went to a sign-in. This is way before I was writing or podcasting or anything, and so I went in to like get his autograph or something. Still have the autograph somewhere. And he was like, "Hey, what's your name?" I was like, "Phil." He's like, "Wait, really? Hell of a name." I was like, "Yeah," like, right. And so I saw him later because I did the photo op too. And like I just in the moment, because Chicago me, I like dapped him and he was like confused by it. He was like looking like he didn't know how to do it. And he stood there for a minute. He was like, "Wait a minute, I'm white. You can't."
Oh my god!
Yo, why is this so funny?
What is this dab?
He was like, it was just a dab, and he was like so confused by it. He was like, "You're embarrassing me here, man. I'm white. Like I don't have as much. I'm not as cool as you."
I'm glad he knows his place, though. He knows his place.
Matt knows his place.
He knows his place.
He ain't no fool. He from Chicago, but he know what side he on.
Oh, what up, and all that, and we gonna look at him like, what?
Not
Yeah.
the place.
But
How
no,
many times did you say the N-word around your black friends? Like he's not gonna.
He don't look like the type though.
Wait,
you
wait.
know, we know who looks like the type
did we
that
get there?
does. We all know
Yeah,
who looks like the type that does, and we're
I
not
hope
gonna
it-
say that name either.
Who, Logan Paul? Absolutely.
1000%. We're not even talking about him.
Oh. Logan
No,
Paul.
you know who I had a good experience with? Probably the only time I like really got tongue tied was Bret Hart when he signed my Winged Eagle belt. Like I'm sitting up there. Shout out to Dr. D because he had a media pass, so he helped me like root the line. And I'm like, this is the Winged Eagle belt. He's like, say it's the Divas belt, and I was like, the Winged Eagle belt, and he was like, oh yeah. And so he looked at it, he signed it, and then he said, I heard they getting a new belt. This is before they brought the WWF title that Daniel Bryan would have, and I was just sitting there, and I'm like, yo, this is like crazy. And like, it didn't matter that he was gray hair Bret Hart. It was still like it was Bret the Hitman Hart.
It's still Bret Hart.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, I was able to like pound him at that show that we went to Sandal, and I was like, oh my god, hearing his music pop, like
that's what I want to hear.
Thankful that I've never had a bad experience with the rest. I mean, I had one, but I'm not gonna choose to speak on it. But for all of my like favorites so far, it's been amazing. Like I met Sasha. It was a great experience. When she surprised the wrestling club, like Big E, like where they're like, don't meet your heroes. And like I would be so devastated if I met like a Sasha Banks or Big E and like it wasn't pleasant. But every wrestler I meet, and it's usually during WrestleMania week, it's always like they're always so nice. Like I love
That's
that.
they're authentic. Like that's their authentic selves.
Right.
And that going back, that's what I really love most about Wale Mania, because you have wrestlers from all over, from every promotion ever.
Just vibing.
You have Impact, you have WWE, you have AEW, you have Indies, and they literally just come together and just have a really, really good time. We even had NXT, and like I said, like before, JC Jane remembered us from last year. We was having a whole conversation just off the fact that she remembered us from last year, and talking about how she had to leave early because she had a panic attack because there was so much people. Like if these wrestlers were stuck up or whatever, they wouldn't be, they'll have their own dressing rooms. They'll be like, I don't want to be bothered. Like we went upstairs to Trinity's dressing room. And she's like, oh, hey, come on. And it was Mama Uso was just like, come on, y'all want to drink? Like,
yo, she was so cool,
living her best life.
I took a photo of her, Trinity and Faye Jackson, and Mama Uso's like, hold on, I'm jumping in, and like that right there was a moment. Just even the Usos too, for them to be, in my opinion, the greatest tag team of all time.
Yeah, absolutely.
They are like one of like the humblest people. That's what Krista kept saying. Oh, they call you Oos now. You're part of the bloodline. But like, it's like one of those things where
people get real Hollywood, don't know how to act over here. Just saying.
They don't like carry themselves like, or whatever. Like even like I'm like real cool with their cousin Lance. So I brought that up to Solo, And he was like, "Oh yeah, okay, well, yeah, what's your name?" Like on a familiarity basis, like, all right, you know, my people's cool. It wasn't like, oh yeah, all right, whatever, you know. So definitely, you know, respect that. And that's the same thing I've heard about like Roman before. Like one of my friends who's a reporter said when he started wrestling, before he started wrestling, he was a reporter. He called him like he said, "Hey man, I know your family." Roman appreciated that, and this is when he was covering when Roman was in Georgia Tech.
Right.
Damn, you just really took a whole history. You took us to a whole history lesson. We love that about you.
Hey, I mean, spoiler alert: Wrestling Families is coming up on Fan Club. Yes. I might get in trouble by the EP for saying
that. I'm like, okay, yeah, that is happening. But Phil, who is on your wrestling Mount Rushmore? Spicy.
Don't stop me like this.
She does.
See, I wouldn't answer it. Like but I would love to know.
Yeah,
yours.
She put you on the spot, and she's like, "I'm not answering this."
Then she's like, "Yeah, but you know, if it was me personally, I wouldn't answer it because I just don't know." But yeah, tell me yours. You like, really?
Like to know.
Don't stop me like this.
We could do it by like WWE. Let's do like that because I feel like wrestling is so broad. There's so many different factors. Like, who's the WWE Mount Rushmore?
No, listen, I'm not ducking no smoke, man. I think not ducking no smoke, man.
The smoke. Remember that.
On my Mount Rushmore, I would say you have to put Austin on there because he was the biggest star of the Attitude Era. Like, as much as I'm a Rock guy, like Austin is the guy of the Attitude Era. Like, there's nobody in that era bigger than Austin. Like, no one. So he has to be on Mount Rushmore.
Like,
all right, but he's still a Rock fan, so calm down. Go ahead.
Yeah,
but he knows what's up.
Definitely a Rock fan.
Let the man talk.
Can y'all please? Y'all can fight with each other and make up later.
Yeah, so I would say Austin. I would say as a Japanese fan, Okada has to be on there. Like, Okada's like
nice.
Okada's on there. I would say Brian's on there because to me he's my GOAT. So Brian's on there. And I think last four, I would put Mercedes on there just because, like, I think in terms of like women's wrestling, there's not much bigger than Mercedes. I mean, you could say other people, but like when you look at accolades and everything she's done, she belongs in there.
That's true. I like that. Is it crazy that now my Mount Rushmore changes?
Yeah, of course. It's going to change because you're going to watch more wrestling. You're going to see newer. Yeah, it's going to always change. I can't
stick to just 4. Like, I feel like 4 is such an unfair number.
Yeah, 4 is hard. 4
is hard.
There are people that I want to put in there, but I just, for the sake of doing
it just
4.
depends on if you're keeping it just one company, are you going all companies, are you going men, are you going women? Like, for me, my women's Mount Rushmore is set in stone. Like, that's the easiest 4 I've done.
Wait, what?
Trish Stratus, Chyna, Sasha Banks, Charlotte Flair. Because all of them bring different things to the table and they've inspired different generations of women's wrestling.
Right. I don't know. P, who's your women's? Does it change?
Yeah, because
you don't have one.
Pass.
I mean,
Mount Rushmore ain't even the best president.
Yes, put Patricia's passes in the notes. Put it in the notes.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm probably always gonna pass when it comes to all of that. Like, we always ask people on the show to rank. Well, before more so, but like ranking the 4 horsemen, I'm like, no, thank you.
Yes, Phil, how would you rank the 4 horsemen?
No, thank you.
I think Mercedes is number 1. I think that might be controversial, but she is number 1.
Not at all. That's the correct answer.
I think she's number 1.
That's his opinion.
I think Becky is 2. I would say Charlotte is 3rd, and I would say Bayley is 4th. I hate putting Bayley at 4th because I think Bayley is very underrated. But I think it's only she's 4 compared to the other 3. But I think like in turn, it's like I know people will be like, oh, well, Charlotte's done this, but like in terms of like global, like you could talk to people that don't watch wrestling that know who Becky is, and so I feel like Becky has to be 2. Like, but that's just my opinion.
It's always a toss-up. Like, it is always a toss-up between the 4 horsemen because they all have evolved so much throughout their career, throughout their time in NXT.
And it still feels like the beginning of all the, like, there's still so much more that all 4 of them are going to do.
Yeah, like when P and I did our 4 horsewomen episode, it was hard to rank them because during that time, at the top was definitely Sasha and Charlotte. And then it's like you had Becky and Bayley, but it's like who's 3 and who's 4? And in that moment, I mean, I was always Team Becky. I followed her since the very beginning, from NXT all the way up until her call up until the man and everything. So I was always Team Becky. I even had to like get at her for doing that to my good sis Bianca at SummerSlam. We don't talk about that, but it's really hard.
Did we get far away enough to say that it ended up working out? And I hated it. I hated it.
It started on such a bad foot, but it ended in such a perfect.
I hated it, but it turned out to be Bianca's best feud on the main roster.
It did, but I did hate it, and I had to call her out for it. I said, "I don't like what you did to my sis Bianca." I think I said those words verbatim.
Phil, you lit. Like, you invited to the cookout anytime. You heard?
Right.
But I mean, and like, I hated it.
It worked out perfectly. I like the fact that you came back.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
it was one of Bianca's best feuds. Like, if the fact that you're feuding with a 4-horse, like she's feuded with 3 of the 4. All we need is
that storyline build up.
Yes, all we need is on Charlotte.
We definitely gonna get it.
But at the same time, she never really feuded with Sasha, where like Becky was like her first real feud with a horsewoman. Like Sasha, they've had matches, but they've never feuded. And Charlotte, they've been keeping away from Bianca, and then like Bayley, they just really had like a feud like now after Bianca and Becky had their feud.
I mean, they had the feud, but Bayley got hurt. They had the,
that's when they had to do the remember that's when Bianca picked up Otis and they was doing that thing.
But Bianca wasn't Bianca yet.
No, but that was still a feud.
It was still a feud. That was a feud.
That's true. I want to Brian Soulmate ask Siendo what her knockouts Mount Rushmore is. I would love to see what she feels about that. And shout out to Brian Soulmate because he says this is his first time catching a live stream. So welcome to Thirsty Thursdays. Welcome to our universe.
Welcome to Thirsty
You're part of the
Thursday.
family. So
welcome to the fam. Welcome to the cookout.
Right. And there's always arguments at the cookout.
Yeah. I got to tell them to not throw drinks and stuff every week. So it's like just me being me.
She's a referee.
I'm very curious of a certain person if she's going to end up on this Knockouts Mount Rushmore.
Come on, Siendo.
Okay, so I gotta forget. Like, Krista's allowed to change hers. I'm allowed to change mine because we're still on a trial, and I'm not putting this person. Putting this person on this Rushmore of knockouts is too early because she's not been there long enough. So Trinity is not on my knockouts Rushmore, respectfully, because I need to see how she works with the ladies. But if I had one, Gail Kim, Mickie James, Deanna Purrazzo, and for old time's sake, because she did hold down a division, and y'all gonna be so surprised. But Angelina Love definitely belongs on that Rushmore. And if I had to have a 5th person, I'm gonna give it to Madison Rayne, just because Madison Rayne is literally one of, if not, she's one of the hardest working women when knockouts weren't even getting the recognition after most of the OG knockouts were gone. She was still holding it down for a while until she got to AEW. So it's definitely that, and I'll leave it where it's at. A lot of people are saying I left, expect me to leave Awesome Kong up there. I feel like Awesome Kong is just like, she's the Roman Reigns of that knockouts division. She held it down so well, in my opinion, that as I put her on the Rushmore, I kind of see her as like, the way people see Roman is the way I see Awesome Kong. So for the knockouts division, she's the Mecca. Exactly.
All right, Trinity's match is on right now, you guys. Just letting y'all know. But y'all can continue conversations.
The controversial one, I was wondering, I was like, do you acknowledge Tessa's run as a knockout?
We don't acknowledge her.
No. So here's my thing with Tessa. And she's good. Let's give her credit. But then it's like you let your ego get in the way of what could have been something that's recognized for the books. And it's going to happen. Like, I say that everything that CM Punk is getting into is getting in the way of how much of a hard worker and how much of a good wrestler, in my opinion, he is, because I'm also a fan. But I'm allowed to say that because it's true. A lot of, even what's going on now, like, we should be excited about him coming back to AEW, and we not. Why? Because we still worried about him having beef with reporters. That it's like, okay, we forget.
Sorry.
So trust me, they didn't want to put him on that poster, but we know it's all politics. Yeah. Okay. Again, see what I mean? See, this that shit that I'm talking about. Anyway, so but with her, she had it's a lot of legacies that do that. They had the pedigree, the hard work, and the dedication, and they didn't even have to worry about their generational before their predecessor before them to worry about how good they are, but they fuck it up by doing the stuff that they do. And she did just that. Like, you did not have to do or act the way that you act.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I think Punk is different. I despite everything people say about the guy at the moment, despite how polarizing the guy is, I don't think you could change his legacy with ROH. I don't think you could change what he did with WWE. I still think he's still one of the most well-known wrestlers of all time. Like, I don't really agree that his legacy is getting tarnished, but it depends on who you ask, of course.
I mean, yeah, like I said, you get people that are just like they look at the stuff he's doing now and they're like, oh, the guy's garbage. But I'm like, okay, so you're just going to throw away, which is what fans do. Like, it could take you. Yeah. You could be in the ring until your arm falls off, but if you call somebody. Yeah, but if you call somebody the wrong name, you're gonna hate them automatically. That's how we are. That's just how we are. Some of us roll with the punches, and that's why I feel like happened with her, because I've heard as much bad. I've heard good stories about her. I've heard about all the great things, and she's opened doors even with before she can even get on WoW. Like the work she was doing.
They anchored WoW around her, which
around her, because she literally found some of the talent. She was like, I've seen this person wrestle. I've seen this person wrestle. I've bring them on, bring this person on. This person I know does good in Texas. This person I know is very famous in LA. This person is straight from Mexico. Like, if you look at some of the WoW women now, she's anchored for those women. But because there's certain things, I don't know how she's coming across vocally. I don't know whether it's how she's saying it. I don't know whether she's tossing the whole, how she's wording it. It's just something about her. She always has an issue. Like, she's always going to have an issue. And I feel like if you can get past your issues, you don't have that problem. But some people's egos don't let them get that far. And to me, like I said, to me, she was good in Impact. She was great in Impact, but
yeah, she had an all-time run with Impact. That's the only reason why I mentioned her, because I was like, that's probably the only conversation it's hard to keep her out of when you look at like the best knockouts. Like, because I mean, she's won the world title there, so it's kind of hard to leave her out of that conversation. But
somebody asked me, "Oh, Angelina Love, but no Velvet Sky." I enjoyed Velvet Sky. I enjoyed her. What I didn't like, what they try to do with Velvet Sky, is they try to make her second to Angelina Love. And I didn't appreciate that, because there was a point where when you say back and forth with the knockout champion, it was her and who did we talk about on the last fan club that was in WWE that went over and made a killing in TNA? Was it Brooke Tessmacher? Yeah, like it was a yo-yo between the both of them. And I'm like, so you're not gonna, like, you got ODB, you have all these other women up there, and they were just like passing the belt back and forth to her. And I felt like they were doing that in the runs of, they wanted to compare her so much to, I guess, their version of Michelle McCool. And I didn't like that either, because they started doing it around the same time that LA Cool was going on. I'm like, no, like Velvet Sky is much better than that. And she kind of had to prove her whole, like, I'm not just a pretty face or a pinup girl. I'm a wrestler too. And I'm like, come on, like, we've seen this. We know you know how to wrestle. You can't sell me this story. Mm-hmm. Like, I remember watching you in Ring of Honor when Ring of Honor didn't have women. Like, you can't fool me. Shout out to Philly on that note.
Sarah Del Rey, man. Sarah Del Rey.
Wait, is this true? The Beautiful People in Lay Cool had beef?
They said it was a steal off the Beautiful People. Like, what they said, what Lay Cool was a steal off the Beautiful People, but it was different.
Hey, I don't really see the similarities.
But... yeah, it was different.
Oh, Lay Cool was more fans like working themselves into a shoot as per usual.
Like, the Beautiful People were like pretty girls who can kick your ass. Like, Cool, they were taunting people. Like, they were picking on people to overcount themselves as being the best. Like, Piggy James was their thing. They were bullies. The Beautiful People, they were just egotistical. That's the difference.
Got you. I do in more like Divas era shit that's like underrated and doesn't get, you just have to compare each other, just like all the black wrestlers. Like once Jade Cargill hit the scene, oh, she's trying to be Bianca Belair, and then that whole argument that they pushed Bianca Belair because Sasha Banks made black wrestlers marketable or some shit. I hate that.
I hate that stuff too. Like why can't they just be different?
Call yourself a wrestling fan if you're just gonna pigeonhole every one that seems the same. Like you're doing the business a disservice by doing that. It sucks.
Let them know, P. Talk to them, sis.
It does. And people were shocked. Somebody hit me with it, direct message on Twitter, because they were shocked that I admittedly opened that men were into ODB. I'm like, yo, people were into ODB. Like, it's something about them calendars.
It was Thurston. Like,
it was Thurston.
I went the photos.
It was the muscles.
Yep, got my attention.
It was the boobs. Come on, like everything.
I was like, hallelujah.
She had the most strategic merch out of everybody in TNA. Like she literally had a trucker tank top with 2 palms right on her boobs.
Nice.
And she wanted to literally have no ring gear and just that flask and just them boots. She literally just cut the middle of the t-shirt, brought out like if she was a Fenty model, and went out there and did her thing. The mohawk did it. The bandana head did it the same. I compare it the same way that some people love the appearance of the Briscoes, and trust me, there are people that are fans of that. They were a fan of her, and I'm just like, you can't be surprised. She's so like
if they were to have done a faction, ODB and the Briscoes, they would be like
1000%. I already know where you're going.
Like the Triple H, Shawn Michaels in China of the time. Like,
hello, get into it.
Come on now, come on. See the vision. You see the vision.
See the vibes.
That's would have been.
See the vibes.
Definitely see the vibes. But this was actually a fun Thirsty Thursday. Just want to tell everyone thank you for joining. Everyone continue to please send your prayers up for Christina. She'll definitely be back the next Thirsty Thursday. Christina, we love you. We're praying for you. Thank you, Phil, for joining us. Do you have any closing remarks? Of course, but besides, we're going to let everybody know where they can find you at. But do you have any closing remarks on anything? Just let us know what's going on.
No, just thanks for having me, man. It's dope seeing you guys out doing your thing. I think that was one of the coolest things during WrestleMania weekend, seeing you guys get to do the junket and the press conference. Because I keep saying, like, no, they need to let more like black podcasters into these things. I don't like it's happening more and more, but I think that's one of the good things I've seen within the last year or two is seeing these companies acknowledge black podcasters and give them a space at these like events and send wrestlers there to do interviews. So
I agree.
And I've been seeing too, like there's like more and more of us in these spaces. I feel like every press conference we're gonna see more familiar faces. And feel like I always talk about how like you were one of my editors at Diva Dirt and how much I enjoy working with you. And you, as well as a lot of other people like Brian H. Waters, like, the other podcasters out there. Shout out to Kristen Ashley and Bell to Bells and everything they do for women's wrestling. Like, they were kind of the foundation a little bit of wrestling Twitter when I first got on there. And, now that space has grown so much. But the fact that we are seeing more familiar faces in the, Will going to, AEW and all those sorts of things. Like, it's all the hard work that we all put into that space. Like, we literally built a table for ourselves. Like, we put ourselves in these rooms. And I think, we should absolutely take a toast to you, Phil, and everything you've been doing and everything you've done and the platforms that you're a part of. And the doors that you're opening up, you don't realize you're opening up, just like Krista B and I and Brian, we're opening up doors for so many people. So I definitely want to toast all the success of black wrestling content creators out there. And I shouldn't just say black, I should say everyone grinding.
Oh, who brought the gong back?
Who put the gong? Oh, Brian. Sound effects. Like, you see what that Maryland
Brian, the producer, Waters, you already know who it was. Why you guys are surprised.
No, because what happened was, when I was watching and I was still working on stuff for work, I had added it and I meant to say in the text, like, don't worry, I got you. And then I forgot about it because we
never
texted
the group chat. That's crazy.
I know, because I was working. I'm working and watching.
crazy. He said he's celebrity. He was booked already.
He was booked and busy. That's what I heard. Y'all heard that, right?
I was cutting footage for the celebrities.
Y'all heard that he was booked, right? Okay, got it. Heard it.
Wow. Press release is coming through from AP.
See, now this
Associated Press.
Now I gotta pull an all-nighter to talk about how Brian done.
I mean, I'm just saying, I'm not on 3 different shows in one day, so. Yeah,
and
that part.
We have Phil Grace too. Like tonight, he took time out.
A lot of star
he came from one stream to this stream. Thanks for bringing the star power to those wrestling girls.
It's a lot of star power.
We really appreciate it.
We don't even compare, P. We don't even compare. Right
nah. I seen dude do like a whole diss track on y'all that night. That was one of the funniest nights of Twitter for me. Y'all don't remember homeboy that was like the Lacey stand, and he was like, "Nah,
oh my
God. Wrestling girls."
Wait,
what? I remember
there was a diss track out there.
I didn't watch the whole thing.
This guy,
so stupid.
This guy really was curious that the girls were not feeling Lacey. I remember this whole thing, and it's weird because the guy like followed me and slid into my DMs and was like, "I just want to let you know you're really pretty." And I was like, block. And he was like, "Those wrestling girls talking about some Lacey Evans doesn't have enough." I was like, "Bro,"
and he was like showing pictures of him meeting her,
like hard on. Like we get it, but like it's never that serious to just like disrespect women like that. So I was just like, I saw him and I was like, "Follows you," and then I saw my DMs. I was like, delete. Like, ew.
It's like
that's what you're not going to do.
I'm just stuck on diss track. Like,
it wasn't really a diss track. I'm putting a lot on.
Yeah, he made a video and everything. He sure did.
And people on Twitter were being funny. They were like, "Ooh, look at somebody finally."
He did a music video too.
Girls, I'm famous now.
But you know what's funny though? I gotta give it to him because he would have that. He would get like his account like taken away, and he had that new account ready on deck. I'm like, yo, how did he? And then he'll already have like 300 followers by the time he came back into my orbit. I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
It's like, we get it. At Lacey can't wrestle. You like Lacey Evans.
Yeah, like
But to stand on that, to literally have your whole life, like your whole life is defending everyone in the whole world, and you choose Lacey Evans in 2021.
Yo, no, but he was standing. He was on that hill. He said, "I don't care if it's lightning, a snowstorm. I don't care if it's a fucking tsunami. I'm standing on this hill and on this Lacey hill." He wasn't leaving. And I'm like, why is this guy going so hard? Like you guys, I don't even think you guys said anything that bad. That's the funny part.
We didn't. I think P said something to the effect of she wished that they were doing more with Lacey Evans.
Right.
And it wasn't a dig to Lacey. It was a dig to
creative.
Mm-hmm.
And he took it as, "Oh, you guys are Lacey." Oh, not you trying to hit Trinity? Hell no. Sorry. Took it as, "Oh, y'all don't support Lacey Evans. How you're supposed to be like a women's wrestling podcast and supposed to da 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 da." And then he literally.
He tried to light y'all on fire. I don't get it.
He recorded himself on his BlackBerry because that's what it was given. That was the video quality. It was given BlackBerry.
He was given 240p.
Yes, he recorded himself on his BlackBerry trying to diss us. Like we couldn't even hear you because the sound quality wasn't even up to par. It's like
he hit y'all whole handle. At T Wrestling Girls.
He even had to specify T Wrestling Girls.
They not
I want
doing
you to know who
Lacey.
I'm adding right now.
I was like, whoa.
Like it was a mess. Like I hope that you still in the basement.
Wrestling Twitter is a mess now, but it was always a mess. Now that I think about it.
But look at where you guys are now. Like you're like, look at where y'all at now. Like, come on.
All I'm picturing is him in front of a camera wearing an unwashed Lacey Evans shirt, like Birdman in a Breakfast Club. Like, put some respect on Lacey's name. I ain't gonna say it no more.
Yeah, basically. And first of all,
on that note,
first of all, and then how about in the video? You don't even know who he was looking because he was definitely looking in 2 different directions.
Christian.
Nah, he subjected himself.
So you say he has Shawn Michaels' eyes?
Yes.
No, Shawn Michaels looked inward. These was that way.
We're like
us clarifying what type of.
Listen, You open Pandora's box and you know I'm gonna feel it. You know I'm gonna feel it. Or you know I'm gonna empty it. So
I
please.
just want to thank Phil Lindsay.
I just need clarity on the music video and the diss track. That's all.
Yes,
this is new
I'm
information.
gonna try to dig it out actually because I never fully watched it.
No,
I'm sure that account got killed, so I'm sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Do not give this man. All right, Nicholas. I'll be nice. Okay. I'll be nice.
I won't.
Nicholas said, "Be nice."
Yeah, he told me to be nice. I'm gonna be nice. But at the end of the day, don't sit here and try.
That was a wild time, though. Y'all were only
try to come for us because it's like we're look at where we are, and you're probably still using up all the Jergens in your mama's house. So please.
Oh my God,
that's a good segue.
Yeah, we
winding down and thanking everybody for joining us for this month's Thirsty Thursday. I want to thank Phil Lindsay of Grapsody for joining us. I can't believe this is your first time on a platform. I hope it's not your last.
Definitely not your last.
We really enjoy having you and getting to know you a little bit more. Where can everybody find you?
You can follow me at PhilDeal616 on Twitter. And of course, you can find Grapsody every Saturday at noon on Fightful's YouTube channel. Do Ask Grapsody every other week on Fightful Select. And you can find my writing at Bleacher Report.
That's it. Make sure y'all follow. I don't think that we need to reiterate where you can follow us at. But for those who do not know, we do because we do have a first time viewer.
And we can tell everybody all the stuff we got going.
Everybody what we're doing, but we're gonna save us for last. Let's start with the superstar in this building because I feel the rates going up by the second. So Brian, you go first.
It's up and it's up.
You can find me at Brian H. Waters everywhere. Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And make sure you check out the Wrestling Realm and check out Wednesday Worldwide. And of course, right here on Wednesdays at 7:00, TWG Fan Club.
It was him coming in with the Barry White voice. Just saying. Justin?
Well, how do I follow Hollywood? Well, I'm going to try my best right here.
You gotta make it work.
So you can find me on all social media platforms at It's Justin Rich. You can find me here Wednesday nights from 10 to 9 for TWG Fan Club with myself, Queen PR, Hollywood Waters, and Ciendo, where we talk all things wrestling. You can catch me Tuesday nights from time to time on Twitter Spaces for Turnbuckle Talk with Mimi and Corey around 6:35 p.m., where we talk all things wrestling. You can catch me from time to time on True Heel Heat Sports and True Heel Heat Wrestling. Both of those channels are located on YouTube, where we talk sports, wrestling, and all that fun stuff. We here, we outside, we active. Put the Jergens down. Go touch grass.
Life advice from Justin Rich.
I can't follow up with neither one of those. Wait. Okay. Woo. All right. And as you guys already know, it is your honorary wrestling girl, Ciendo B. You can catch me on all my platforms. Reload.relive on Insta. Reload.relive on YouTube, Reload.relive on TikTok, and Reload via Film on Twitter. Well, no, I will not attack you if you are a Lacey Evans fan, but I will not spit an ether on you either. So don't come to that page my energy. YouTube video dropping tomorrow of the Palm Springs vlog. Can't wait for all of you guys to see that. And every Wednesday, you can catch me being me with the 3 best friends that anybody can have on TWG Fan Club every Wednesday. And yes, please, if you are the ultimate fan person, wash that t-shirt. It is gross. Ooh. Do not wear a t-shirt without washing it.
Period.
Okay. Life advice. Before we head out, I want to remind everybody to check out our Carmella episode. I am so proud of it. It was our first live episode that we recorded last Saturday, and it is out on all podcast platforms and on YouTube. So go check that out. And on Sunday, we are streaming our Alundra Blaze / Medusa classic episode and our interview with her from last winter for the first Women's Wrestling Hall of Fame. I'm going to end the stream with...
Wait, you have to let people know where they can find you, P.
Everybody knows where to find me at this point. It's right here. It's right here. At Queen 3_PR. There you go.
You find me, Miss Krista B, on Instagram, MS_KRISTAB_, and on Twitter, MS_KRISTAB.
Ciendo. Her name is Ciendo.
Let's keep forgetting. Yes, her name is Ciendol. Please make sure, as P said, you tune into
Who's that?
I don't know who.
That is
Listen,
Remy from Ringside Society.
Oh God, hi Remy. He always does that to me.
Please shout out to Remy, but also please make sure you subscribe to us on Patreon, YouTube, TikTok, Twitch. We're affiliates on Twitch. Make sure you follow us on all social media platforms where we can be found at. And P, now you can close out the video.
So I'm just gonna thank everybody for joining us. Our next Thirsty Thursday stream is June 8th. We have a very special guest. Just stay tuned at Those Wrestling Girls. We have a lot going on. And I'm gonna end the stream showing a never before seen pic. I just seen it in our back. And I was just like, okay, I'm gonna post it. But I want to thank everybody for joining us. Of course, our special guest Phil, everyone in the comments, all our loyal community, Brian, Justin, Ciendol, thank you so much for taking time to drink with us. Prayers up for Christina and her family. We love you. We miss you. It is never the same without you. We love you so much. And we will see everyone on one of these streams. We on Twitch every week. So we will see you guys soon.
Deuces.
Damn.